Hello everybody and welcome to today's competition. This is a Seto Drift League. I am Shift Happens. I am joined today with the Major Cupcake. And today we are at Hawkeye Downs for another installment of our street spec competitions. And this is in our fully, well, kind of soft released version of our street pack. We finally got the update mostly done. Done to the point to where we release them to our pack or to our community thinking that they were fully finished. Of course, you always find little bugs and glitches here and there. So once we get all those ironed out, they will go live on Vosen. But yeah, we are in the new updated street pack for today's comp for the first ever full-on comp with the official pack. So I'm super excited. I'm sure the Cupcake is as well. And go ahead.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm glad to have the 1M in the pack. It was one of the cars that kind of secretly crept up on me as one of my favorite cars, and it is such a blast to drive. Like everything about it, the way it feels when you're in the game, when you initiate and you get that power in, and the way it hooks up is just so much fun.
It is. The new update to the pack is extremely fun, and there's also 4 different tires to choose from for whatever your liking may be, all the way from kind of a lower grip to super grippy boy. But anyway, like I said, we're at Hawkeye Downs for today. I'm gonna go ahead and throw up the line map for you guys. So this is in fact the Hawkeye Downs in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, in real life. We went ahead and replicated it in game in favor of one of our buddies who is local. He asked me to make it, so we went ahead and did that for him and for the community, for the entire Seto community. So got the line map up to show you guys. So the right lane leads and they cross over the chases line, kind of impedes on the chases line a little bit. So the chase needs to kind of, kind of keep a hold on the start. That way the lead can cross over. The white line you see there, excuse me, the lead car does have to cross that white line. You'll see it whenever we get going on the competition on the cameras. But the lead car's rear tires have to cross that line at some point during their manji for initiation, to a decel zone, up to the outside touch and go on the bank, down to outer zone, or it's an outside touch and go, but it says it's a zone. Outside touch and go 2, transition up the crest over the little bump there on the track to the outer zone, technically outer zone 1, but it says outer zone 3 there, to an inside clip, to an outer zone again, down into a kind of a slowdown section, an awkward section that a lot of people are kind of iffy about, because everybody takes it differently. So it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what happens at that section of the track there. But that final,
I was gonna say, that is definitely gonna be a contention for a lot of people's wins and fails, I feel like, today.
It certainly is. It's a troublesome part of the track for sure. It's definitely the hardest part of the track, and it's the most crucially judged part of the track, just because of all the factors that come into play. So making a mistake at that part of the track is brutal.
Detrimental.
Yes. But anyway, so they transition there to the final outside 2 touch and goes to the finish. And that's Hawkeye Downs. That is the layout we're running today. And when we it's not live on Vosen now, but it will be live on Vosen here sometime very soon, with 3 different layouts that we know of so far. There's 3 created. There could be more. There's 4. There's 4 layouts now. There could be more upon release, but we'll have to see when we get there. Yeah, check it out on Vosen whenever it goes live up there. But without further ado, I think that's about it. Also, I want to say shout out to all of our sponsors. Go ahead and get them thrown up here. You'll see them scrolling through in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Shout out to all of our sponsors: BDB, longtime sponsor, Asphalt Tattooist Drift Team. I think they're our longest sponsors. Revolution Drift Club, something that Major Cupcake himself actually started, all around the grassroots style, all the way to pro. Just the love of drifting, all of it. RK Skids produces videos on Instagram. Also drifts in real life. Friend of ours, I should say. Team Pure, obviously the drift team of ADL. Sleight of Hand, one of our newest sponsors. Super happy to have them on. Great group of guys. Also really great drivers.
Yeah, they're real drivers, and the team focuses on Assetto and in real life, so it's one whole conglomerate, which was nice.
Yep. Vosen, our biggest partner, I would say, as far as like the communities involved, how big the name is. Super happy to have them on board and helping us out. Sometimes they even join us live inside the chat, so let's hope that's the case today. And if I missed any of you guys, I apologize. I'm sorry, but we're gonna go ahead and let's get them started. What do you say?
I'm down. Let's do it.
All right, so our first battle at the line is gonna be Bridger against Legacy, and I'm not sure if this is them at the line. All right, so we are in fact ready to go. We're all set up, super excited. This is Hawkeye Downs. I'm very pumped for today's competition, so let's go ahead and get it going.
I'm excited to be here, excited to be able to commentate with you today, especially making that drive back from final bout. So it's gonna be good.
Absolutely.
Let's get it started.
Yep, here we go. We got Bridger out in front, and chasing him down, we have Legacy. Bridger making a big mistake there on entry, kind of throwing too much angle, slowing his momentum down a lot, and just over angling a little bit and choking up Legacy. So, opposite
because of it.
Opposite drifting there. Bridger just having a super rough time on the start here today. Maybe it's I've driven with him in the practice, so I think it's just it's just nerves. It's got to be that, or maybe something's wrong with his pedals. Sometimes my pedals, they like to be slightly activated whenever I join the server for the first time again, and I don't reset them, I guess, recalibrate them before I join the server again. So
Wild.
Let's hope that didn't happen.
Yeah, I hope that really didn't happen at all, because hardware issues is definitely a problem. I was having issues last competition with my PC. Let's hope that doesn't strike up again as well.
Yeah, that's we don't want to have that. Definitely don't
No,
want to
we
have
don't.
that.
Well, Kinetic's going to be leading this time, and Bridger's going to follow. Let's see how everything goes. Kinetic goes in for the Manji section, right into outer zone 1. Looking real strong. Right up against the wall like we like to see. Right into outer zone 2, looking really good. Staying real nice and smooth. A little
Kind
bit
of
of a
a
wobble
bobble,
there.
yeah, a little bobble
Yeah.
there, inner and outer zone 1.
Inner clip looked pretty good. Coming out to outer zone 2, and he's looking smooth, staying where he needs to be. And there's that transition we were talking about. It's definitely going to be the make and break of a lot of runs, I think. But that was a solid overall run. We'll see what the judges have to say.
Indeed, it really is a make or break section of the track. You know, it's I just hope that it doesn't end up taking too many people out. So
I hope so as well. Watching the replays here, you can definitely see the difference in the way that Legacy is going into the zones and maintaining his proximity inside of those zones. Especially when Bridger was definitely having issues and he was trying to maintain the line, which I think was probably the smarter call with his off as Bridger was in his lead.
I would have to agree with that. Oh no. I clicked on the wrong person. I didn't click on the wrong person. I just clicked the button the wrong time, I should say.
That happens.
Yeah. All right, so we're waiting for the judges to get back with us here on a vote today. Or not a vote today, a vote now. And I was going to say after that Cupcake is actually driving today in today's event. So I bet he's super excited about that.
Definitely exciting. I definitely don't do a lot of driving. I prefer to be behind the scenes and go from there. And it looked like Legacy got the win.
It did, and Legacy did in fact get the win. He will move on to round 2. We're gonna go ahead and get our next battle at the line. We have, oh, I'm waiting for the bracket to load here. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Oh, there we go. All right, we got Benji Hernandez and Darren Bacha at the line.
I think it's
Bacha.
Bacha.
Yes, he said it earlier.
A couple of times.
Yeah,
All right,
he
Hernandez
reminded me.
initiates. Let's see how he does in the first outer zone. Looks a little shallow, but pretty solid overall. Right into outer zone 2, and he looked really on point on there. Outer zone 3, definitely keeping that shallow angle that we were talking about in the driver's meeting. And then maintaining definitely good proximity into the inner clip. Stays nice and smooth through outer zone 4.
Oh, completely missed that second to last outside touch and go.
That's definitely going to hurt him. It sucks, but
it is, especially considering how smooth his lead was up until that point. Yeah.
Well, let's see how the chase driver is going to do. Bacha.
Shift for Perez. Thanks, man, but I'll pass. That's a lot of work that I don't. That's too much responsibility. You don't want that on me, I promise.
No.
All right, here we go. They're going off for their second run. Darren in the lead this time around in the 350. One of the only drivers to choose the 350 today. I think the only driver to choose the 350. Didn't quite fill outside zone 1. Didn't make his way all the way up to the wall on the bank. Benji staying right there with him. B. Hernandez kind of tucked back a little bit. It's right as soon as I was saying that. But Darren throwing down a pretty smooth line. Looks like Darren's car is set up extremely soft. You can see it rocking back and forth on his transitions and when he brakes and such. But Benji doing his best to stay right there with him the whole time.
That was definitely a really soft setup, and you can tell in the outer zone 4 when he started to straighten up angle to make the adjustment. You'll see in the replay here in his lead, but that's going to be that's not going to help him any. Let's put it that way.
No, not at all.
But that's definitely one of the things that we were talking about as well in the drivers meeting, and how that's going to be a difficult spot with that long extension and maintaining speed and angle.
We got
So-
170 Motorsports saying contact.
Oh yeah, I can see it right there in Darren's chase or Darren's lead. It looks like when he straightens up a little bit, he gets a rear touch from Brandon.
We'll go ahead and watch this replay one more time, just because I'm sure the judges are doing their due diligence. Let you guys evaluate it for yourselves one more time again.
So I think the call to play for the contact is right there.
Oh yeah,
But it looks like the 350Z started to shallow up, and that might have been the cause of it. But the judges themselves are going to be the judge and determine on that one.
yeah, I think that was the case. It did look like Darren did start to kind of lose his angle. Maybe he was starting to apply the brakes a little bit to kind of set himself up for the outside touch and go. You know, the trickiest part of the track, and it just kind of didn't work out in his favor. And there we go. Benji's going to get the win and move on.
Good for Benji.
Good for Benji. Better luck next time, Darren. Hope to see you in the next event, man.
Glad to have everyone coming out and try and you know, it's definitely hard to come out here and, you know, shake off all the nerves and put down a good performance. But when you see it, it's really good, and it's nice to see that.
Absolutely.
So glad to have everyone out.
Yeah, do believe this is our next battle. The names on the bracket don't match them at all, but I'm just gonna trust that it's them. We're gonna send it. Bracket says Trev and VX Media, but we got Big Poppy, Freak on Kick, and Danielis going against each other. All right.
Danielis looked real strong in practice.
Danielis did look very strong in practice. He was definitely going to be one to look out for he's going to be one to look out for in today's competition if everything goes, you know, how it was in practice at least. But so far, it runs pretty much fundamental from both drivers here. Big Poppy throwing a really smooth line, putting the car right where he needs to. Oh, huge tire drop there from Big Poppy though, but
Whoa.
did not mess up Danielis in the slightest bit in his chase. He stayed right there with him.
He definitely, even with the tire drop, looked smooth through the whole thing, which was impressive in its own right.
Very.
And I believe he's the only driver running the Firebird today.
Yeah, I think he is actually.
It's nice to see a lot of the variety of cars being
So
driven.
they can
which is
barely
nice.
hear the cars. We'll go ahead and turn it up just a little bit for you guys. See if it helps out. Let me know.
So Danielis, let's see how he does in the lead position. Goes right into the Manji section, real smooth.
Oh, Danielis
Big
looking like he was
contact.
going even a little bit wide, and Big Poppy still going into the door of it. Maybe Big Poppy might have kind of touched the wall a little bit, you know, not helping him out
Maybe.
any. Not sure. I couldn't really tell, but definitely going to be a hard one for the judges to call there because, like I said, Danielis was already going wide, but I mean, stellar run after that. Incredible.
Yeah. Even the little bit of adding angle to help initiate the slowdown for that last outer zone, or the second to last outer zone, I apologize, definitely showed great technique.
Absolutely.
See, we can see in the replay what if there's any bit more of what's going on. I don't know. I feel bad for the judges on this one.
Agreed. Agreed. It looks like Danielis might have had a better chase, but as far as leads go, I think, like I said, Danielis was making his mistake on his entry going wide, but it's kind of hard to tell what was going to happen because Big Poppy, you know, ran into him. But other than that, Danielis had a great lead as well. And like I said, I think Danielis' chase was a little bit better. So
No, I definitely agree. I think Danielis was definitely a lot more on Big Poppy's door through the entire run of the track. and maintained great proximity versus when after that contact was made, it looked like Big Poppy struggled to keep up until the last 2 outer zones.
I agree. The 1M just kind of just ran away from him a little bit. I've noticed that in practice. That's kind of where that car tends to grip up and just kind of, if you're not careful, it can pull gaps on you.
Yes, absolutely. That V10 engine data is so good. It's just got the power where you need it, right on tap. It feels like always. It's a wonderful engine to have in there, and I gotta thank Chelsea DeNova for opening my eyes to that.
Shout out, Chelsea.
It definitely. So I run this in my air quote pro car, and I also use a V10, but I have a twin turbo setup on it, and it is such a fun car to drive, and it just, you never run out of power, and you never feel like you're out of power band. It's always right where you want it, no matter what. So to see it in the street car is definitely exciting, and I mean, I don't know. I couldn't talk more highly about this car, obviously.
I can vouch for his pro car that he has. It does drive very good. There we have it. Danielle's is going to get the win, or VX Media in the bracket. I'll have to remember that. But yeah, Danielle's gets the win, moves on. Good job, Trev. Better luck in the next competition, man. We hope to see you again. Up next, we got Night Shift Bran. I'm assuming a teammate of Trev against Chandler Crawford. The actually last event's winner, Chandler Crawford is. So super excited to see him back. Always great to have the winner of last event's competition join us again for back-to-back rounds.
Yes, and Crawford was on fire last round.
He was, and we were in the pro cars. Excuse me. We were in the pro cars last round. Now we're in the street cars, the new street cars. So gonna be interesting to see how he can transition from one pack to the next and how he performs, under pressure in events. And as we see there in this run so far, Crawford looked like he got a little bit choked up there. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really paying enough attention to really tell what exactly happened there. Glad we have judges for that. But Crawford definitely got choked up or made some huge error there on the entry. But past that, pretty wow. Solid run, I would say.
Cut it definitely a little early there to try and make up some ground in that last section there. We'll see how he does in his lead and how Night Shift does in his chase. Also, a new car for our pack is the E46 BMW, which is exciting to have.
Yeah, both cars of choice, right, in this battle at least, are both brand new chassis to the pack. So super excited to see people enjoying them. That's awesome. That
livery that Chandler's got is sick, though.
It is. It's his own. It's a Red Bull Racing livery that he likes to create for all the cars he runs in all of our competitions so far. I like it. Looks good.
Let's see how he does out in the lead here.
Yep, not quite as wide as we'd like to see from the lead there from Chandler, but not bad either. Definitely was super smooth through there. Bran definitely has to make up some ground here. We'll see if he can surge up on his door here right before the finish, or if he's just gonna stay. He's just gonna stay back there, but. Pretty decent run there from Chandler. Definitely could have been a little bit better, I would say, but overall, not bad at all there from Chandler.
It was not a bad run at all, and I think Bran, he maintained his proximity even though it was a little far back, and you'll definitely be able to see the difference in the replays here on proximity situation.
He did. He actually, yeah, that's something to talk about. He did maintain the same proximity throughout the whole run, and there's that mistake that Chandler made in his chase as well, so it could realistically go either way in this call. So
well, we can really see here in a second, if someone was initiating late into this box, it's about the same going into the second to last outer zone. We were talking about we wanted to see the judges wanted to see the rear tires in the box before the nose, and because a lot of people are transitioning late, and I'm probably going to be one of those people, unfortunately, but we'll see how I do. Overall, though, to see the difference in these two runs, Chandler had really good proximity, but he definitely made some errors in the chase, and you can see that his lead run was pretty good, but was not like spectacular. It wasn't like, oh my god, check out that run.
Right. Yeah, it was a fundamental lead. He did exactly what he needed to do.
Yes.
Here we go. We're waiting for the judges to get back with us on this battle. And there we have it. Chandler Crawford will move on. And nice. I believe now, that is going to close out Group A's battles. It is. We're going to go ahead and get Group B coming in here. What were you saying there, Cupcake? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to mention that the our advanced gate is custom made, and it's super cool because you can get a drop down for each side if these are new viewers or not, and you get to see like oh, this person advanced or this person didn't, and it's something that the drivers can see right there on the spot, so they're not waiting for someone to jump into chat or to give the heads up from them. They can visually see it right there on the spot. It's definitely a rewarding feel to have that advanced gate drop down on you.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure I've never experienced it personally because I don't take part in the competitions myself, but I'm sure it's a exhilarating feeling seeing the advance come down in front of you. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I did take part in a competition.
You did once.
Yes. And we happened to use the advance gate in that competition. It wasn't one of ours, and I'm sorry that I forgot about it. I sincerely apologize, but yeah. No, and I did see it come down in front of me, and it was an awesome feeling. So, I can't imagine how these guys feel. Especially, imagine seeing it every round, and then you see it come down for the final battle. That's got to be a great feeling.
It really does. It has to be so exhilarating to be in that person's shoes at that time. Like, you spent all this time battling to get all the way in the top two, and you're right there in the finals. And again, that's the one thing I like about the virtual world to an extent, is that when you're in there and you're, behind the wheel of your sim and you're in the zone and you can only chat with what's in your group. So you can chat with you and you can chat with your other driver basically. And you're telling everyone, oh, good job, you killed it, whatever. But then to see the advance gate drop down on you, it's got to be such an amazing feeling. One day, I'll probably experience it, but we'll see if it happens today.
Well, you never know. You might see it today. There's a chance. Anything's possible.
Anything.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and let Group B get a couple more minutes of practice here before we send them. Group B drivers, we have Diaz, Arman. That's going to be our first battle, Diaz against Arman. Our next battle will be Bruno against Charles Conway. Up after that will be Nick against Legacy Drift 180. After that will be Tim Seria. I'm sorry, I always struggle to say his name. Against Hydra. And after that will be GSIX. Poopa against Kinetic Chillmate.
I think it's G6 Poopa.
It might be. I don't know. But either way, I just noticed that's Group C. Anyway, that's the first battle of Group C. I went one too far down the bracket, so we'll see them next group.
So this one is going to be... Yeah, you went too far down, right? Because we ended Hydra on this one.
Yes, yeah. So Hydra and Tim will be the final battle of this group.
E92 Nick was really popular as well, so seeing him in the bracket for this section for bracket B is going to be exciting for this group. Hydra, he's driven this track in real life, so that'll be exciting as well to see.
Yeah, Hydra actually a local to this track. Hydra is the one that we made this track for, fun fact, so...
He's the one who...
He's the one to thank. Yimpy, believe I said his name right, or she, if it's a female, I apologize. And chat said, be back for the next round. Awesome.
Thick.
We hope to see you back. E92 Nick is the GOAT.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume teammates. Definitely teammates.
Definitely has to be teammates. It's Bridger.
Yimpy is Bridger. Nice. Awesome. Definitely come back for the next round. Come back for every round, man. There's a schedule posted up. Go check it out. You can see exactly when the events are, where they're at. Get practice ahead of time, unless it's, a track that we haven't released yet. But
I believe it's in our comp info, if I remember correctly. Yep, 2025
Correct.
schedule.
It is. It indeed is. All right. That is the signal of 2 more minutes left of practice for Group B drivers before we get them sent off for their battles. Like I said, Diaz and Arman is going to be our first battle for Group B.
Oh, Conway was still driving. Get that extra bit of practice in.
Yep, there we go. We got the red light. That means practice over. Maybe I was a little bit late on the 2-minute warning, but it doesn't matter. We got battles coming your way right now, ASAP. All right, so Diaz. Oh, sorry for that. I clicked the wrong button. I'm good at that. Diaz and Arman. Diaz will lead first. Diaz rocking the 400Z. Probably one of my more favorite cars in the new pack, to be completely honest. It drives very well. And it's a returning car. Granted, it's a new model and stuff.
It's an update to the returning car.
Yeah, but I love it. It drives really well. I highly recommend it. But here we go. We got Diaz in the lead in that 400Z. Excuse me, sorry. Very
Arman
smooth.
in the RT650, the RTR S650.
That's a 550, but
550, whatever. It's a Mustang. They're all the same.
Yeah, I guess technically, yeah. But so far, Diaz with a really good lead. Arman with a big mistake there in his chase, almost going super wide. Wow, great job catching back up though in such a short time. Not sure if he, kind of straightened up to get there. Wasn't paying attention to it, but good job.
I'll give credit where credit's due. The correction to make it back on the door of Diaz in that last little section with that major looking mistake, it looked like he put a tire off in the dirt in the chase. So it definitely shows that he was offline, but to go back and make it back up that quickly is very impressive.
It is.
And then to hit one more thing about the 400Z, that's definitely one of your favorite cars from the last pack as well. So it's nice to see it returning with an update and a refresh. It's nice.
It is.
So let's see what Arman can do. I'll go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was unfortunate that I didn't recognize the 400Z's potential sooner on, and kind of started driving it really late on. So, but glad we have it.
That'd be good for Arman.
Yeah.
So if we got a little recap right there, we were talking about in the drivers meeting that you couldn't, as a lead driver. Oh, big miss on that as well. You couldn't, as a lead driver, touch the yellow on the entry back there into outer zone 3. And you could see it on there, unfortunately. So we'll see what the judges end up doing with that. Contact on turn 1. Yeah, that's what it looked like as well, 170. So we'll watch the replay here for his run. Goes in. Enters in. A little slow. Definitely missed that there. I couldn't see the contact in that bit. But just overall, kind of a little sloppy. Oh, there's the contact right there. That's why he missed the inner clip. Yep. There's a lot to dissect in that run, unfortunately.
There was a lot of mistakes made on both parts, unfortunately, and you hate to see it happen that way, but that is drifting at its motorsports. That's sports, period. Stuff happens and things don't always go your way, so we'll have to wait and see what the judges call for it.
Could be a big nerves thing. We'll see what happens. I know Diaz has been in practice for a while and running. Oh, Diaz gets the win. Good for him.
Yep, Diaz will move on. Arman, better luck in the next competition, man. Hopefully we see you again. Up next, our next battle, we got Bruno against Charles. Charles also putting in that work and practice this last week, preparing for this competition. So be interested to see what he does. I do know that the driver he is up against is, I believe he was a podium winner from last round as well, wasn't he? Or no, that was Diego, I think, but they're teammates.
Yeah, it was Diego. Yes, they are teammates. Because I remember the blind be on there. I believe it was Diego that was a podium winner.
Correct.
Charles gets a little tap there in the chase. Bruno looks a little shallow, but it could be just the way he drives and his style. See how it goes. Inner clip looks pretty good. Going into that big last outer zone. Adding a little angle on there. Not much of the zone hit. And then right into that wall. looking pretty decent. It wasn't a terrible run. The Porsche is really cool. Another new addition to our pack.
It is heavily inspired by Chelsea DeNofa.
Man, he really just...
In case you couldn't tell, there is also, I probably shouldn't say this, but there's an Easter egg in the hood for those of you that are fans of Chelsea DeNofa. So if you want to check out the pack and check it out for yourself. But yeah, there's a little fun stuff in there in the front.
That's sick.
If that's what you want to call it.
Oh, like within the model, so you have to like kind of scope it out on your own.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, sick.
Just something funny we threw in there.
Maybe here we go. FP, like championship.
Charles in the lead now. Charles, very smooth entry, nice and wide, almost exactly what we wanted to see, that we said we wanted to see from the lead car in the driver's meeting. Charles just stood there, coming out of angle a little bit there in first outer zone, but not too bad. Able to hold it together. Bruno trying to get that proximity back. Charles with a nice big flick into that second outside touch and go right out on that bang. Very good lead there from Charles. Great to see that.
Red Bull 1Ms.
Especially from how he did in last round. Not trying to talk bad about Charles or anything, but he did kind of take himself out in last round by just making a driver error. So great to see him, come back and swing big like that with that lead run. That was awesome.
Yeah, he definitely went out and, stepped up his game and laid out a really solid lead run. And, if you leave it out of the judge's hands, that's really going to make or break you. You got to go out there and show your dominance, unfortunately. We'll see if I can do it. But, yeah, he definitely kind of took himself out last event. And, that was unfortunate. But it does happen. We have seen plenty of drivers that we know take them. They're their own battle, unfortunately.
Correct. Yep. And there we see Charles got the win. Charles is going to move on. Very unfortunate for Bruno. Better luck in the next event, man, if you do come back. But next battle we're gonna have. I'm sorry, I got some weird stuff in my throat today. But our next battle is gonna be Nick against Legacy Drift. Legacy Drift in the SN95. I do believe the only driver today in the SN95, Nick Donato, one of many to choose that 1M. And Legacy Drift just kind of going all kinds of buck wild and getting all kinds of cattywampus on the initiation there. And just losing control of the car, going up into the bank, into the wall. Very, very unfortunate there for him. You really hate to see it, especially like you were saying earlier, when you know how much practice these guys put in during the week. So super unfortunate, but Nick, pretty ideal lead there. Little late on that transition there in that second to last outside touch and go, but not gonna hurt him too much.
These liveries are fire, by the way. Who did our liveries again?
Angle Design did all of our liveries. Go check him out on Instagram. Right. He is in fact linked inside of our Discord. So go check him out on Instagram. He does amazing artwork for cars. For Assetto Corsa, amazing paintings, or liveries, whatever you want to call them. Go check him out. Yeah,
he did. He's got my alternate livery for my pro car for my 1M. So got the Revolution Drift Club on the side. Super exciting. But he's updating our pro pack for liveries as well. Correct?
He is in fact doing all the liveries for our pro pack update, which is going to be coming sometime soon. I'm not going to give a date to it because one of them things where you don't really know, you don't know how much time you're going to be able to designate to it, so you can't really put a date on it. But here we go. We got Legacy Drift in the lead this time around. Oh, big mistake there from Legacy Drift, not able to flick the car. Really struggling in the SN95. Maybe he's having some wheel issues or something. That's the only thing that I can think that it would be. But you hate to see it.
That has to be what it is. That has to be what it is.
You really do hate to see it. It's very, very unfortunate that stuff like that happens. But it is Assetto Corsa. It is virtual drifting. It does happen. So.
Yeah, it looks like Legacy had a struggle again and spun out again on the last big sweeper. I believe that was outer zone 4.
I'm sure this is going to be an easy call for the judges. I'm sure they're going to go ahead and give the vote to Nick. We'll wait. Yep.
Nick is also an SOH driver as well. So
He is. He is also a sleight of hand member. We got our next battle coming to the line. We got Hydra and Tim Seria going against each other. Tim, I seen just disconnected from the server a couple minutes ago, so I'm hoping maybe he joins back here. Maybe he is in fact having some issues as well.
Maybe.
Hopefully not. I do pray not, but this is our final battle for Group B. They're going to have Group C join us.
So I do see Tim is still in.
Hey, Pods. Discord. One of our sponsors, or one of our, I believe our newest sponsor, if not our second newest sponsor, Pods Mods, makes super realistic mods. He uses the Cosmic suspension and Assetto Corsa, which has adjustable caster and all other goodies. So go check his stuff out. All his stuff is on Vosen. All his release stuff, at least, is on Vosen. So definitely go check it out if you want to have some fun. Also, be sure you check the wheel settings because there are, wheel settings that are recommended to run for his packs. So definitely check that out as well, and it's going to make your experience so much better.
Pods also has his own Patreon, I believe it. If it's not a Patreon, yeah, it is a Patreon. It is a Patreon, and you can get. He makes tracks. He makes cars. He just redid. There's an old version that existed of Tail of the Dragon, and he redid the entire Tail of the Dragon, and he made a fantasy version as well. So it's super cool to kind of see like his creative side come out in tracks, and he's a really cool dude to drive with and talk with and everything like that. So excited to have him as a sponsor and as someone to bounce ideas off of as well.
He is. He's just an all-around good dude, and he is what we call a Assetto nerd, and that is meant in the most, endearing term possible. But I think we're getting a buy run. But he is all about Assetto and making Assetto better and always looking for ways to improve it and new things to add in to make it that much more realistic. So definitely check him out for sure. Worth the shout. Absolutely. But I think we're getting a buy run here.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting a buy run, and Hydra is nailing it. Now, as we mentioned before, this is the track that he wanted. He drives this track in real life, and Shift has kindly made this track come to life for the community and Hydra. And it is definitely showing that he is not new to this. Look at him go.
Absolutely not. Hydra is one of the longest members here at ADL. I think he joined one of the in the first month or couple months of our launch. So it's amazing to see him still around. Honestly, there's a select handful of guys that have been around since we started very, very early on when we started that are still here. Come in very regularly and talk and hang out with us and drive with us. And, I like to call them friends. They're what I consider lifelong friends at this point. The guy running the Light Time Flies, he's my best friend. That's the greatest thing about Assetto Corsa and just the Assetto community in general is it's amazing. I mean, you can't put words to it, honestly. It's cool. If you like cars and drifting and you want to make some good friends and meet some good people, join the Assetto community. Absolutely.
Well, looks like my bracket is up. I will talk with you guys later. I'll be back after my bracket runs.
Alrighty, man. Good luck and knock them dead, bud. Yes, sir. All right. Well, we will have Cupcake join us here shortly after. We're having Group C come in now. We got GSIX Poopa or Poopa. I'm not quite sure what it is. I apologize for saying it wrong if I am saying it wrong. Then we have Kinetic Chillmate, the teammate of Legacy from Team Kinetic earlier and the very first battle of the event today. After that, we're going to have Mr. Less against Noame. After that is going to be THC Crew against Edinas. And then the Major Cupcake against Dustin H. for the final battle for Group C. We'll go ahead and watch some runs here. Chillmate, I know he tagged us in a reel on Instagram that was an absolute heater of a run, and I have been looking forward to seeing this man compete all week since I've seen that reel. So can't wait to see. Can't wait. If you haven't seen the reel, make sure you go check it out over on Instagram. Chillmate. That was a super clean run from him. Gonna be super excited to see these battles. I can't wait. Further on we get in this event too, the better the battles get. That's the greatest part about it. I love it. Absolutely love it. While we wait, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know what our next round is gonna be. We're gonna be back in the street cars. Where is it at? Where Hawkeye Downs now. We're gonna be back in the street cars at Pine Valley, which is actually my personal favorite, to be completely honest with you. And I hate to say it because I made the track, but it is honestly my favorite track. We're going to be going back to Pine Valley. I'm not quite sure which layout we're going to be going to. We got our 2-minute warning going right now, caught at that time. But so we got 2 minutes left to practice here before we send out Group C. But real quick while we wait on that, Pine Valley is it's a very dear track to me. That's why it has so many layouts too. If you haven't downloaded it for yourself, go check it out over on Vosen. And I hate to do like a selfless shout out here, but the track's awesome. And I highly encourage anybody to go check it out. It has multiple layouts to enjoy, all of them very, very, very different and very unique. And like I said, I'm not quite sure which one we're going to go to next round, but it's definitely going to be a fun one, and it's going to be back in the street cars. And I actually haven't driven the update much at Pine Valley, so it'll be cool to see, you know, the pack on that track, the updated pack on that track. All right, look like Mr. Les. I'm just gonna call him Master. There's no point in saying the full name. But Mr. Les choosing the Supra. Not very many people pick the Supra. I actually test drove the Supra myself, and it didn't seem like it was the best car of choice. I usually take the car stock tune, go test it out, see, you know, which one feels the best for that track, you know, out of all the cars that I like at least, and that I like to drive, I should say. I like all of them. But, you know, go test the stock tunes, you know, for my favorite chassis, and then, you know, kind of build a tune after that. But, yeah, the Supra wasn't it for me, so I'm interested, or shocked to see it picked. Happy to see it picked, though, for sure. And this is actually, I forgot to mention this earlier, this is actually the only event that we're going to be running. All our updated pack has 20 chassis. We had 10 originally, and we doubled it. We doubled the size of our pack, and we have 20 chassis now in our pack. So this is the only event that we're going to host with them where we have all 20 cars available to use for the event. After this event, so Pine Valley, for instance, the first round where we're going to start this new rule, because there are so many cars and we only have limited spots inside of a server, we're going to use a random generator, and we're going to randomly have 10 cars selected for each round from here on out. So I hate it, you know, but that's kind of the downfall of having so many cars in the pack. But it looks like practice is over, and we are going to have our first battle at the line. Oh, that is the wrong guy. All right, we're going to have GSIX Poopa against Chillmate for our first battle for Group C. And here we go. They are off. Poopa in the lead, Chillmate in the chase. Poopa, really good initiation there. Oh, looking like he might have started to get a little bit too much angle, but then Chillmate kind of bumped him, so it's kind of hard to see what the outcome of that would have been before that contact. But Poopa definitely looked like he was adding a little bit of angle there. Another little bump there from Chillmate, and I'm not sure if maybe that's a latency issue that's going on, because that time it didn't look like it wasn't the best view, the best angle that we had for it, but it didn't look like he fully contacted him. So sometimes that happens in the game where you have kind of a latency issue, where you might not actually bump the car, but it's showing that you bumped him, you know, because bad connections and whatnot. So all right, we're getting them flipped around. Chillmate is going to lead. Poopa will chase. Poopa in the GT86, also one of my other favorite chassis. So we have the 400Z, the GT86 that we've seen so far today. Those two are up there for me when it comes to, you know, car of choice. But Chillmate, great initiation. Poopa right on his door. Great transition there from the chase car to surge right up in the pocket and just stay there. That's a very hard place to stay with the lead car. It's very, very, very easy to get left there as a chase driver. So great job on Poopa, but he kind of lost some ground after that, and you know, ended up getting a little bit of a gap put on him by Chillmate. So unfortunate, but it happens. You can see from the replay. Let's see what exactly happens. So maybe Poopa wasn't going to too much angle. Maybe he was just getting at the angle he needed to be at, and that's when he got bumped by Chillmate. But as you can see here, another bump there from Chillmate. Maybe a little bit too hard on the brakes, and just, you know, the car understeered and went into the side of Poopa, unfortunately. As you can see there, their Chillmate, awesome initiation there. Very, very, very smooth. That 1M is also just a smooth car to drive all around. Probably one of the more stable cars in the pack, I would say. You see there, just putting a little bit of a gap. Chillmate, though, with a big gap there in the tail end of the run as well. So it'll be an interesting call. You know, the judges definitely got a hard decision to make here, but that's what they're there for. I trust them. And we'll see what they decide. We also, as you've seen earlier on Chandler's and Charles's cars, the 1Ms, we're allowing personal liveries now. So if you guys are members of the community and you're unaware, that you are able to submit personal liveries now for all of our cars in our packs to run. All you have to do is you have to use Skin Companion to set it yourself inside the server, which isn't a big deal. There's a video posted on how to do it inside the server, the Discord server, for those that are interested. But yeah, you can now submit your own liveries, and there's talk. We don't know yet, but there's talk of a street private car series. So basically we'd be using the same data that we have now for our street cars, but it would be a private car series. And there we have it. Poopa gets the win and moves on over Chillmate. Very unfortunate. I was super excited to see Chillmate battle, and you know, that was probably, honestly, that was probably the commentator's curse. And I do apologize to Chillmate if that was the case, man. That's an L on my part, and I take it. I'm sorry, bro. But from now on, no more talk of how good guys are going to do. But our next battle is going to be Master against Noame. Master in that A80 Supra, such a good looking car. Man, I love that car. And then Noame in the R34, also a very good looking car. Masterclass with a big, like, well, I don't know, big speed, I should say, going into that Manji, and then kind of just leaving Noame behind. Noame going off track, shutting it down. Not sure if he's having setup issues, PC issues, or if he just shut it down because he was upset with himself. But I do know that he He did not finish his run. Great job there, though, from Master, finishing out in his run. Pretty solid lead run there. Should have added another camera there. I don't know why I didn't think of it. Such an awkward camera angle for so long. All right, here we go. Drivers flipped around, ready to go. Noame in the lead. Master in the chase. Oh, Master shutting it down. Well, not quite. Almost. Ah, and then Noame just... I'm not sure if he's having issues, if he just doesn't like the cars, they don't mesh with him, or what, because I could see his wheels were turned all the way, but you know, his car just wasn't steering. So I don't know if it's setup issues, tune issues, PC issues, or what, but I do know that he's having some problems, and I do apologize if it's on our side, but I do believe that's going to be it. I think Master will take this win. Oh, give him a little bump there. All right, there you have it. Master does get the win and move on. Our next battle is going to be THC Crew against Edinas. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, partner. Edinas in the S13. I would say the second most popular car pick today. I think we had 3 or 4 guys select it. THC Crew in the Mustang. That RTR, such a good car, especially for this track. That was honest. The RTR was honestly probably my favorite car to drive on this track. Here we go, THC Crew on the Manji for initiation, and Edinas right behind him. Nice flick there from Edinas to tuck right into the pocket of THC Crew, and then THC Crew nice and smooth on that entry, or through that first section, just like we wanted to see. THC Crew very smooth lead so far. Edinas, though, right in that pocket, falling back a little bit on that transition. THC Crew with a big angle, almost an over rotation. Thankfully, Edinas wasn't close enough for it to be an issue, but definitely could have been an issue. Will for sure be a huge point deduction, unfortunately, but Edinas also making an error there in his chase at the very end. Looking like he didn't quite get out to that last zone. All right, here we go. They are lined up for their second run. And they are off. Edinas in the lead this time. Good flick there from Edinas. Nice and smooth. THC Crew right up on the door. Fell back just a little bit. Edinas shutting it down. Losing grit, or losing the slip. Just gripping up. Maybe he forgot to downshift right there. Sometimes that happens to me. I would forget to downshift as well. Edinas super fast off track. Man, very unfortunate for Edinas. Very unfortunate, but that is easy to do. I noticed that on that inside clip, he didn't quite get the angle that he needed, and that's the result of that. You kind of go into that outside zone a little bit too hot. As you can see, Edinas put a big gap there on THC Crew. And then just sending it off track there. Very unfortunate. And also making that pretty big error in his chase. And there we have it. THC Crew gets the win. He will move on. Up next, we got the Major Cupcake against Dustin H. Both of these guys, very, very special to me. So we'll see who takes the win. Cupcake with a big flick there. Dustin not quite where he should have been on initiation to be in the pocket there with Cupcake. But tucking right in the pocket there. Sucking up on that door, and then, oh, big air there from somebody. I'm not quite sure who was at fault. If Cupcake was slowing too much, or if Dustin was just surging too hard. If it was a combination of both, then maybe it's shared faults. You never know. But somebody definitely made a mistake there, and it caused some contact. So I'm sure the judges will be evaluating the situation. Maybe we'll be able to see as well whenever we get the replays up and going. I have it set up to where I can have a replay run after the first run, where it takes up the whole screen. And then the second time it's the two side by sides. And I've never used the like, since I've been doing the replays, at least I never used the first replay, just because I feel like it's not fair to have one replay big and then one with the other one playing and small. But anyway, here we go. Dustin with a nice big flick on initiation, and Cupcake looked like he was kind of shallow on that Manji going over that line. Not quite enough angle, I would say, to classify it as a Manji. But let's see what he can do here. Big flick there to kind of get up on the door. Dustin, he does. Oh, kind of straighten up there a little bit. Needs to pull himself together here, and he does his best, but not quite able to do it before the line, unfortunately. But we'll see what the judges say nonetheless. We'll get that replay thrown up for you guys while we wait on the judges. Oh, man. I remember Jazzin, man. I remember your name. You used to do like every competition with the old pack. You definitely need to get back, Jason, or Jazzin. I can't remember how to pronounce your name exactly, but you for sure need to get back, man. Absolutely. But we are waiting for the judges. Will it be Dustin? Will it be Cupcake? A lot to sift through those two runs there between these two drivers. Want to wait on this. This is our final battle, I do believe, for Group C. Oh, nope. Yes, this is our final battle. I'm sorry. I do apologize. Our next group that's going to be coming in is going to be Stoner Monk and Jacob Dalfon's Silo against Eurofriendly. There we have it. Dustin gets the win. He's going to move on. Very unfortunate for Cupcake. Maybe next time. Well, he was at final bout, enjoying his weekend and stuff like that. So can't really be mad at him. You know, he was having a good time instead of, you know, preparing for the competition, you know, so can't knock him for it. But we'll see him in the next round for sure, whether he's judging, commentating, driving. We're going to see him for sure next round, possibly Dustin as well. But man, that sucks. Sorry you got taken out, but you know.
I don't know. From my point of view, that hit that he gave me was way worse than anything I could have done.
Well, you got to take that up with the judges, man. But like I was saying, in this group, we got Stoner Monk and Jacob, or Stoner Monk against Jacob, and then we got Silo against your old friend Lee. Then we got Static Shitbox against E30 Cook, and then we have Zenatada against JC Motorworks. We're gonna let them get their few laps of practice in before we send them. Yeah, Stoner Monk, you're right. Yeah, Jay's in VR. Yup. I do remember. That's wild. Still watching the competitions, man. That's so cool. Thanks, bro.
Uh-oh.
Oh, are we in trouble? What happened?
Oh, Time's in here. Let's see what he says.
No, nothing. Just came to say hi. What's up, guys?
Oh, what's up?
Yeah, what's up?
How's it going? How's operating the light treating you?
It's going fantastic.
I told Swan that I'm protesting.
Jeez.
You can't have that.
No.
I know. Sure can't. That's why we can't have nice things.
Absolutely no protesting.
No, not at all.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, whenever you are ready to get back on the sim, you're always welcome to come drive with us and join us again, man.
Absolutely. Come drive. We'll love it.
Yeah, come try out all the new stuffs, bro. All right, we got the timer up for the drivers. We are getting ready. I don't know what JC Motorworks was doing. Looks like he was on a hoverboard of some sort. That was awkward.
I think you might have lagged out.
I think so. A little bit of a lag problem there. But yeah. Anyway, we got the timer up for the drivers. Before we get them going, this is the final group for top 32. After this, obviously top 16. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I can't wait to get to top 16.
Yeah, top 16 is going to be good. There's a really stacked bracket, and the drivers are definitely on par for what's needed for today.
I couldn't agree more. I think top 16 battles are going to be pretty epic. They're going to be gnarly. Looking forward to them for sure. And so far the battles though all day they haven't been bad. I mean, most of the battles have been pretty solid. There's obviously been a couple, stutters, but other than that, most of the battles I would say overall pretty solid. Not disappointed with battles.
We're at the 1 minute mark. I was just informed that Static's battle, he cannot see the light, so that'll be a countdown.
All right. Well, I guess for the
countdown with the light.
Okay, cool. Sick.
All right, I'll get them organized and we'll get this started.
All right, let's do it, man. All right, you heard it from the man himself. We are about to get the final group underway. You know what I'm most happy about? That I didn't have to reset the server. I thought for sure that I was going to have to reset the server at some point during today's competition. I'm just glad that we didn't have to do that.
No, we definitely did not. Not one time. Everyone had the appropriate amount of vehicles. I mean, we'll see. That was top 32, so we'll see if top 16 changes anything.
Yeah,
But
I think past top 30. Yeah, I think past top 32 it shouldn't be an issue realistically. It could be, but I don't see it being one. Got a bunch of people in chat shouting out their buddies.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You guys cheer on your teammates or your friends or your family, whoever they are. You guys cheer them on. Let them know that you're watching and you're wishing them well. You want to see them do good. All right, we got our first battle. Got Stoner Monk against Jacob Dalphonse. Stoner Monk, another very long time member, always in that E34. You can go back and watch the competitions from, a couple years ago. You're still going to see that name there, Stoner Monk. He hasn't changed it. Always in the R34. Great to see him still around. So far, super smooth lead there from him. But Jacob right on that door, tucked right in that pocket. Kind of a little wobble there from Jacob in the chase. I'm not quite sure if he touched Stoner Monk on that wobble. Didn't appear to, because Stoner Monk wasn't unsettled at all. But Stoner Monk, impressive lead here. As always, very, very, very smooth. Great job in that lead there from Stoner Monk. Jacob also credible chase.
Yeah, Stoner Monk, switching from the sedan R34 to the coupe R34, you don't see any difference. Every time he's out in a freaking R34, he's out there slaying, putting that car right on the wall right where it needs to be.
Oh, he is. He is. And we got his best friend here, Nothing Matters.
Impressive.
Nothing Matters in chat. Great to see you, man. Can't wait to see you at Atlanta this year again, as always. Always tuning in to watch his buddy drive. I love it, man. That's so cool.
Hey, the support's there. If
It
you
is.
get it, got it. Like, that's so stoked.
It is, man. All right, here we go.
Let's see
Jacob
how
in the
Stoner Monk
lead.
can do.
Big flicks here from Jacob. He likes all the style. He is going after that Chelsea win is what he wants. But
That
Jacob
X-Factor.
pulling gaps there on Stoner Monk. Not quite sure what happened to Stoner Monk there, but he for sure put some gaps there on Stoner Monk. And Stoner Monk going to that second outside zone, throwing a little bit too much angle. You really hate to see it considering how great his lead was. I mean, that was arguably one of the better leads we've seen all day. And to see, mistakes being made like that in the chase is just heartbreaking, man.
It really is. And, when you watch both these replays side by side, you can definitely see that while Stoner Monk had a really solid lead overall, you can see that the chase made all of the difference. You just see how much closer Jacob is on Stoner Monk's door versus the other way around, unfortunately. And I don't know what was going on in Stoner Monk's chase, if, Jacob was just that much faster, but you can really see that he was struggling to keep up and maintain that proximity.
He really was. And I do know that the R34 was one of them chassis where it's kind of, I don't want to say it's on the slower side because it's not slow by any means, but it definitely, there's times where it struggles. Like you see right there in the replay on the bump, like that little unsettlement of that car slowed him down that much compared to the S13, and those are just little things like that kind of separate the R34 from the rest of the pack.
Unfortunately. And, the 34 is not the only car that does it, though. So
No. I mean, you can develop a tune to where stuff like that doesn't really happen. You can really dial in the dampers to where your tires always have contact with the ground and like the bumps you don't really feel them and stuff, so there's ways around it, but it's very difficult to get that exactly right. So when everybody else is tuning their dampers the same way, and cars that react better to bumps such as those. So
don't do my guy like that. Nothing Matters is not happy, not one bit.
He loves his bro, man. And there we have it. Jacob gets the win. Very unfortunate for Stoner Monk, man, but I know we'll see you back in another one. Great lead though, brother. Great lead. Amazing work.
That was good driving all around.
All right, and here we go. We got our next battle already at the line. I freaking love it. Let's get it going. We got Silo. We got your old friend Lee. Silo and that Fox body, your old friend Lee 180SX. I do believe Silo, only person to choose the Fox body. Your old friend Lee, only person to choose the 180. Funny to see them go against each other.
And your old friend Lee, I'm pretty sure, has driven the 180 multiple times in our old pack as well.
Oh, yeah.
So,
the 180 was a very, very, very popular car in the old pack. We'll see how it plays out, what its future holds here in the new updated pack. Yeah, definitely was a favorite in the old pack.
Seems that a lot of people are very scattered on what they like and don't like in this update.
Yeah, dude, it makes me so happy to see this was wild, Joe, or that was wild, Joe. It makes me so happy to see such a big variety of cars chosen for the events. Like, you're not seeing one car dominate the field. Like, obviously today, we see a lot of 1Ms, you know, and S13s, but there's almost every car from the pack was chosen at least once. And that's awesome. That makes us so happy to see that. And I'm not quite sure what's going on here on this run. It looked like Silo kind of just went into the side of your old friend Lee on initiation. I'm not sure if your old friend Lee was going too slow, Silo was going too aggressive, or what the case was, but they're going to go ahead and send it and finish out their runs here. And we'll see what the judges have to say about it.
Yeah, the judges are definitely going to have to determine that factor of who was at fault for that situation, and go from there.
For sure. There is so many things to view on that last battle. So sorry for all the stuttering, guys. When I don't know what to say sometimes, I just repeat the same thing over and over again until I can process what to say next. It's a hard job. It's a hard job doing this. I promise you.
It's definitely more difficult than most people think.
It is.
You know, you just go out here and you're like, oh, you just talk about whatever, and it's like, no, you got to make it kind of relative to what's going on. And you know, me kind of stepping into the backup role to assist you in this is nice. It's a fun change, and hopefully the crowd doesn't think I suck so bad. So.
Hey, I dig it. I love having somebody else here in the booth with me. It makes me not so, I don't want to say bored. I'm never bored because I'm watching drifting. How could you be bored watching it?
No, but it's easier to bounce something off of someone else, to have a conversation, and you're not just talking to yourself the whole time. One more time.
Agreed. It's so hard. It's very hard to keep a conversation going with yourself. Like, yeah. When you're the only thing bringing up any topics, or, you know, it's not easy. But anyway, we had it one more time. I kind of figured, honestly, that was going to be the outcome of that last battle. So we'll see what they can do this time around. We got Silo in the lead again. There, little jump there from Silo. I'm not sure if they're going to run it back or what's going to happen. He did stop, so, you know, we'll see what they say. But so far, we're off to a better start, I would say, than our last battle.
Absolutely.
Both drivers putting it down on that entry. Silo got a little wide, but that's okay. It was super smooth. Enough for your old friend Lee to stick right there on his door. And so far, I'm digging this battle.
Dropped the tire, though.
For sure. He absolutely did. But I'm loving this battle way more than the last one that we've seen from them. I'm not quite sure what was going on, but I'm glad that we got it sorted, and I'm glad that we were able to give them another chance at this.
Absolutely. It definitely shows that sometimes just gotta send them again.
That's right. You know, that's what we're about. Send it multiple times. Send it till you can't send it no more.
Yeah, throw that back in.
Don't do that because you'll get a 0. But
that's the one thing that I'm excited. Hopefully we can get some interest going in some team tandem competitions, and kind of follow suit with more of like that grassroots style of drifting that, you know, people fell in love with before FD made it popular.
I would be down with something like that, honestly. You know, like some team tandems, like Final Bout, like you were just at.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I'd be down for that. Chat, let us know what you guys think. But it seems like there was contact again on entry from Silo in the chase again. Oh, and then, I don't know what happened there. There was a little miscommunication there between transitions, and Silo kind of falling back a little bit.
That's what it looked like. Look, it got lost in the smoke.
Yeah, not sure what exactly it was, but we'll see here in the replay what happened.
Yeah, we sure will. Yeah, the cool thing about that I liked about Team Tandem is, you know, it's 3 cars or more can be in the team. So you can't have 2 cars, it's got to be 3. And you can have up to as many as you want. This weekend, there was 6 Miatas all on one team.
That's wild.
And it was fucking sick. I'm not even going to lie. Sorry for swearing. The internet's going to demonetize us.
I don't care. We're not monetized to begin with, so they can try all they want. But they ain't taking my money. I can tell you that much.
That's for sure. Yeah, I'm watching the replay for Silo's chase, and I'm not quite sure where the miscommunication was. It's a rather interesting situation on how he got lost in the chase there.
Yeah, there was two little hiccups there in his chase, at the very beginning and at the very end. Well, not the very end, but on that second to last transition,
zone
definitely,
four.
definitely got choked up there a little bit.
Well, the jobs of the judges today are definitely not easy. They definitely have to go in and really put forth the effort. And as a judge, normally that's what I normally do is judge. To see the view now where I don't have to judge them, I'm still critiquing as I'm commentating as well. And I know that this is going to be a tough one to deliberate. It's not going to be a cut and dry, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, no, and I do the same thing. I always have that. When ADL started, I was always playing judge, so I always have that kind of judging view as well. And there's a lot of things that I could say about all the runs, but I choose not to. That's not my job anymore. I don't. Well, only when it has to be, and I don't want anybody to feel bad for picking apart their run or anything like that on stream or whatever. So I just
if I
let
make
the judges do it.
Bad, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good, man. Don't worry about it. But we got our next battle at the line already. We got Static Shipbox against E30 Cook. Static Shipbox in the.
Are they both in R31s?
They're both in R31s.
Oh, that's sick. This is definitely a new car as well to the pack, and it's definitely a fun one. Like, who doesn't love a wagon? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we started off with some contact in the first outer zone, and old FD rules seem to be applying right now where you can do a takeover, overtake somebody, and I don't know, we'll see what happens with the judges on this one. This is wild.
Yeah, what looked like it happened to me is Static might have just slowed a little bit too much on entry. Maybe he thought that he was going under the wall, so he might have, started to slow a little bit too much to avoid it. I'm not sure, but that's what it looked like, at least, at first glance. It looked like that Static might have slowed a little bit too much.
I'm definitely excited to see it in the replay to really see what might have transpired, and you get to see it a lot more of a closer eye as well, because first time it goes by pretty quick.
It does, yeah. It's hard to register everything that's going on. Sometimes there can be a lot happening.
Yes, definitely. Cook's gonna go out in the lead, and let's see if he can lay down some fire, start cooking with grease, getting them tires rolling. Ooh, that's gonna be no good. Did not hit the Manji section as required per the rules of today's event.
Yes, so as we said earlier at the start of the event, that white line is something that the lead car had to cross, and it seems as though Cook thought that you weren't allowed to cross it. So I do believe that was 0, I want to say, from Cook in his lead, because he technically didn't initiate, right? So we'll go ahead and play the replay to kind of see what happened on the first run. Yeah, it looked like Static. I'm not sure. He was on power.
There we go. Static was definitely on power, and it looks like Cook hit him because he was building up too much speed, is what it looks like. But the judges are the ones that are going to make that call.
Yeah, I think the reason why it looked like Static slowed too much was because he was already going wide, and he was trying to avoid himself from going wide. But Static, or Cook, he wasn't having it, so.
Yeah, Cook told him, hey, we're going to put you where you need to be.
Yeah.
It's where I want you.
It's like, my car, no brakes. All right, we have an OMT. I kind of thought that was going to be the result, to be honest with you.
It definitely feels appropriate in this situation.
It does. You kind of give them another shot. Both drivers definitely are good drivers. You can tell by the way they were running. You don't want to see, them go out because of circumstances. So.
No, not at all. And Static in practice was on fire all practice. So
he was king of the hill. He did good.
Well.
Right.
Static with a nice entry into the outer zone 1. Cook is definitely throwing it in hard. Static is definitely nailing all of the zones so far.
Absolutely.
nice and steady on the wheel and smooth where he needs to be, and Cook is right on him the entire time. Seems to have lost him a little bit in the first inner clip, and it looks like he might have got out on the dirt a little bit there. Static did. So that's going to be a deduction in points, as we were talking about in the drivers meeting, and we'll see how big of a deduction that ends up being. But that was a pretty decent lead run overall.
Yeah.
Probably better than mine. So
yeah, definitely a good lead run there from Static. He for sure dropped tire in the second outside zone. And then Cook, that mistake that we seen from Cook, he kind of surged at the wrong time and choked himself up,
that's what it looked like.
It happens, it's unfortunate, but it does happen. Here we go. The drivers flipped around.
That inner zone first time.
Yeah, Cook definitely missed that first zone, but really good through the second one. Decent into the long sweeper zone. Really tight on that inside clip. Very good. Static was right up on his bumper. Fell back just a little bit. Let's see if he can get on the door on this transition. And he does his best. Not quite able to make up all the ground, but he makes up some of it.
It looks like Static had some issues when he was coming into that first long sweeper. It looked like he kind of choked himself up, and that put him in a bad situation because he looked really on point to what you were, what you would want to see for a chase. But yeah, he chokes himself up by going into deep, and it just kind of hurt him, and he was playing catch up from there, it looks like.
Yeah, he didn't really get off the door in time. He should have had that proximity sooner on and started backing up, where he was super close. So
that's definitely a hard one to do, maintaining that proximity, and that definitely separates the men from the boys, as I unfortunately would admit.
Well, after the call comes through, we're going to have Zenatada and JC Motorworks go for our final battle for top 16. And I am super pumped to see what the future holds for our top 16, the battles that are going to be underway.
JC's definitely stepping his game up for competitions this year. He's in what did he sign up for earlier this year? I don't remember off the top of my head.
CNDS, I believe it was.
Yes, CNDS. And to go out and try to do that stuff is definitely impressive. And he's in the actual automotive industry as a retail seller, and communicates and rubs elbows with all the drivers and all the other brands. So he's kind of a cool guy to have hanging around. Unfortunately, I'm just kidding. No, JC's a good dude, and I hope he does well. I really do. I hope he does really good.
Yep, JC is a quirky one, we'll say that, but he's not bad to have around. We enjoy his company.
We sure do.
All right, judges definitely they're trying to pick that last run apart like it's some sort of Morse code or something. They are for sure deliberating, and we have an OMT again from these two drivers. Wow. Hey, you know what? If that's what it has to be, then that's what it has to be, and I'm not mad about it.
No, these drivers, now that they have their second OMT, they're definitely going to be stepping it up and throwing it all out on the line.
Oh, for sure. They have to pick a winner this time around. There is no more OMTs. This is the final one. They have to choose a winner. So, they're for sure going to be sending it super hard, and I'm all for it. But here we go. Static in the lead again. Cook in the chase. The Static be nice and smooth. He can be on this time around. Nice big entry there from Static in that lead. Cook having to cut that track a little bit to get the proximity. We'll see if he can. Doing better to not surge so hard right there on that part of the track. And we'll see if he can make up more ground here before they get to the end of the track. Static, super smooth lead. Very fundamental lead from lead.
Yeah, Static Shipbox did a fantastic job of just laying down a fundamental chaseable lead. And, a lot of people in competition always assume that, if I'm more aggressive and make it hard for someone to chase me, then I'm going to win. And, the key to success as a lead driver is to be so smooth that anyone can chase you. And if you're going to be that smooth, it's going to be a super high point, run. So let's see what Cook can do in the lead this time. Static laid down a fire lead, so let's see what Cook can do out front with clean air. Definitely gets in the Manji a little shallow, but that's okay. Nice against the wall. Kind of little bobble there as he enters into the second outer zone 3. It's looking pretty smooth, maintaining angle, and Static seems to be kind of closing the gap a little bit as we go, which is definitely good. You want to see that just close in nice and tight. Cook doing a late transition into outer zone 5. I believe that was 6, sorry, and 7. Didn't look too bad up against the wall there. We'll have to see what the judges say overall, but that was a really good chase by Shipbox and a really good lead for the most part by Cook.
I agree. They both definitely had little mistakes here and there. Static having his at the beginning, for the chase, for the second run at least. Static having his towards the beginning, and then Cook having his towards the end. Static kind of coming at an angle in his chase, almost I would say going straight, and then Cook having a huge wobble going up to the bank.
Yeah.
But the first run was pretty solid. Oh. And we already got a call in, and there we have it. Static gets the win. Static
Nice
moves
job.
on.
Well, at least there's definitely going to be an R31 in top 16.
Yes, there will be. We have our next battle at the line. We got Zenatada against JC Motorworks.
JC Motorworks is currently building a real E46 with an F22, which is the M4 body kit, which is pretty cool. It's very similar to what the guys in Formula Drift are running.
Awesome. Lewis Zenatada in the lead in that Porsche. Super awesome car to have in the pack. Glad that we added it. JC Motorworks in the chase in the E36 for our final battle of top 32. Are you guys ready to go to top 16 after this battle? Of course, that is. And I do apologize for all the Discord notifications. I'm not sure what's happening. I don't usually get this many notifications, but they're coming rapid fire right now, and I apologize for that. But there we have it for our first run of the last battle for top 32. Great run, I would say. JC, no practice really at all from JC. I think he only got, a handful of laps before today's event, so not bad at all from him. And Lewis, pretty solid run, I would say, for his lead. And
I need to make a correction. It is an F82, not the 22. The 22 is the M2, and it is an M4 body kit. So I apologize. Thank you, E92 Nick, for making me look dumb on the internet. I appreciate it.
Leave it to somebody with E in his name to correct somebody about BMWs.
Yeah, for real.
Just kidding, Nick. Love you, dog.
Sportsons, that's the ones.
All right, here we go. JC in the lead, Lewis in the chase. JC with a beautiful flick up onto that bank. Perfectly 90 on the wall, just like we wanted to see. We said in the driver's meeting. Very smooth here from JC so far, but Lewis right there, tucked in the pocket. JC a little soon out of that first outside long zone. Not quite deep in this outside zone here. Almost coming out of this one a little too soon as well. And then snappy transition to the final two outside touch and goes, but Lewis stayed right with him all the way around the track. Love it.
So I'm getting mixed feedback in the comments here about which car the body kit is that the E46 has from the Swanson cars. I thought it was an M4, but I guess it's an M2. It doesn't really matter. It's a BMW on BMW crime. But at the end of the day here, JC Motorworks laying down a killer lead run. And Azana, I believe is how we said that, doing a really fantastic job in the chase. So the judges are going to have their work cut out for this one for sure.
They absolutely are. It's always the E90.
yeah. E90 guys.
Way to go.
The chat's going wild right now, guys. You don't even know the half of it. Look at what I started.
You definitely started something for sure.
Yeah, just talk bad about one BMW and everyone goes bad. Zenatada, see? I said it wrong too. Man, I'm the worst commentator today.
Yeah. I think I said Zenata. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that I said it.
I think you said it right,
we
but
were
I definitely said it wrong.
we were 50-50, half and half. We got it half
It
right.
happens. It happens to the best of us.
All right,
Well,
here we go.
let's see what the judges say.
Zenata gets the win. He's gonna advance on to the top 16. That's very unfortunate for JC, but it happens, man. Good luck in the next round. And we're going to go ahead and take a very short break here before going to our top 16. We're going to allow everybody, all the staff members at least, to grab drinks, use the bathroom, whatever we may need. I hope you guys enjoy the commercial break, and we'll be right back. Thank you very much.
Are we muted?
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the commercial break. We are coming back now for top 16. The drivers are just getting their last few laps of practicing before we send them off. Our first battle up is going to be Team Kinetic Legacy against Benji Hernandez. Then we're going to have VX Media, Danielis, I think his name was. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Against Chandler Crawford. Then we're going to have Diaz against Charles Conway. And then finally for Group A, we're going to have E92 Nick against Hydra.
Those are going to be some really good battles.
I do think so. It looks like we are getting ready to send them now. So practice is over. Drivers are going to be getting lined up. Like I said, we're going to have Legacy against Benji Hernandez.
Jazz and Tully, there is a link in our Discord if you go under announcements.
Do you want to post it in the chat for everybody?
I sure will.
Sick.
Because as you said it, that's exactly what I was thinking.
All right, here we go. You guys ready for top 16? I am. Here we go. First battle underway. We got Legacy, Kinetic Legacy against Benji Hernandez. Let's go. Legacy in the lead. Nice big flick there from him all the way out to the edge of the track. Big flick up on the wall. Nice and wide. Lots of angle.
A little bit of tap, though, unfortunately.
Almost to 90 on the wall. Yeah, and then Benji Hernandez, give him a little bit of a tap there. Benji Hernandez having to make up some ground. Let's see if he can do it. The Porsche is definitely the car to do it. But Kinetic.
There it is.
But Legacy putting in a very smooth lead line here after that first clip. After that, the first section of the track, I should say, the first two clips.
It is nice to see that that Porsche just put in some work to do some catching up, though. That's a fast car if it's driven right.
It really is. It is. I know that usually a member that we see compete all the time, Randall Kinney, the Porsche was his go-to car, and he was doing really well on King of the Hill and practice and stuff like that, and he was just on stock tune, just changed the gearing up a little bit, but other than that, he was on the stock tune. He was enjoying it, ripping it up.
Hernandez out in the front. See how he's doing. Hernandez looking real good against the wall. Not as deep as we'd like to see, but definitely still in the zone for sure.
Very smooth as well.
Smooth flow. Very smooth. Oh, he's looking pretty good. Nice and shallow, but clean. Into the outer zone. Inner zone looks nice and smooth. Legacy right against his door. Look at that. Right where we want him to be. We want him to be nice and tight, and he's right there where we to put on a show.
He is.
Man.
Awesome chase there from Legacy.
This was a good battle.
Definitely looking like the S13 is going to be a super competitive car in the pack, and I love to see it with its return, to the 2025 update for our street spec pack. Super happy to see it be a popular car and a competitive car, especially being that it's a returning car.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cool. Now the returning aspect, this was not in our street pack to start with, was it? The S13?
It was in the very first original pack. Like if you've been around ADL for a while, it was in the very first OG pack, like first one ever named ADL. And fun fact, it was actually the same exact model. We just completely reworked that model, and it's a completely different car now. So
yeah, it's nice to
seems as though I think what happened is we had a PC crash. Taryn, the gentleman running the advanced gate for today, he for sure has some PC issues, because he just randomly black screens and disconnects on the server, where his PC would just straight up crash. So it looks like we're gonna get an indication from the light on who the winner is. And I'm going to assume that
I'm gonna go with Kinetic. That's my guess.
Yep, it's pulling up, and he is going up in front of Kinetic. So it looks like Legacy is going to get the win. He's going to move on. Great job there, brother. Sorry for that, everybody, but we had to improvise while we're having some technical difficulties. But good job, Legacy, for moving on to top 8 for grade 8.
Got some 1M on 1M crime coming up. This is nice to see.
Yeah, it is. All
These two have
right.
been on fire all practice, all week, I'm sure. So I'm excited to see how these two duke it out in a little bit of some combat today.
I am as well. I am as well. Two great drivers. Danielis, like you said, putting it down all week in practice, doing a great job. Chandler, like we said, returning winner of last event. So super excited to see the event, the outcome here. Like you said, 1-on-1 or 1M on 1M, 1-on-1. Oh, and Chandler, I don't know what happened to Chandler,
Whoa.
but he definitely had a big stumble there. And I'm not sure if it was caused by lead or just caused by him, but it didn't look like Danielis did anything that would cause Chandler to do that in his lead. So
Really
very unfortunate. If that was just a mistake made on Chandler's part, then you hate to see it. You really do. Like I said, especially since he's the returning winner from last round. So
turning champ would maybe?
champ. Yeah, we can call him that. Last round's champ.
Yeah, there we go. Last round's champ.
Got a ring to it.
Let's see how he does in the clean air and what Danielis can do to just suck up on the door and be right there to mimic what Chandler's putting down. And that new custom liveried.
That Red Bull Racing 1M.
Yeah. Chat's getting some cheers going on.
It seems as though we are gonna wait to send them and so the start gate can line back up.
Probably smart.
All right.
At least it's easy to get there. Just gotta
Yeah.
drive around the track.
Yeah, it's just a nice oval, so no worries there.
Yeah, when I had to do the I usually run the advanced gate, and when I had that issue with the computer crashing on me, man, that really made a difficult time because we were at Nürburgring. Oh. But they're
Yeah.
off. Let's see what Chandler can do. Looking
So
nice and clean
far-
against the wall.
Yeah, so far very smooth. Not sure what's going on with the car audio. They are both extremely quiet, and I'm not sure why. Usually they're not that quiet, so we'll have to look into that. I do apologize to everybody for the funky sound there.
Man, Danielis is right. Oh no, right in his door and right into the rear of his car. Ah, I don't know what happened there.
I'm not positive on what happened, but it seems as though Danielis, like we were saying earlier when we were going over the line map, how guys just enter that zone a little bit differently. It just seemed like Danielis, he breaks a little bit later than Chandler does. So
Yeah.
I think that was the thing. And oddly enough, that was the exact thing what just happened was the exact thing Chandler brought up in the drivers meeting earlier. So that's good thing you brought it up. You know, at least he got an answer for it. But we'll go ahead and watch this replay one more time because I'm sure the judges are going to be going over that a good bit. So let you guys watch this one more time.
I think with the two chase faults, it might go one more time.
I mean, there's a possibility because Chandler definitely did have a really smooth lead. So there was nothing really to fault him for that he did on his lead run. So, you know, he didn't tire drop anywhere. He's basically super fundamental on his lead. Not quite sure what happened. It seems as though I lost a commentator. Maybe his PC crashed. I do believe that is what happened. Oh, he went to the judges chat. I think he was caught in there. All right. Well, chat, who do you think is going to take it? Is it going to be Danielis or is it going to be Chandler? Or is it going to be one more time? Lag?
All right, so I was just pulled into the judges booth, and the reason why Chandler's getting the win is Danellis has a family emergency of needing to go to bed. He has a bedtime, and it's right now.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
he has to bow out, and that would be why Chandler gets the win, but it was kind of made it sound like he was not going to get the win, is the way that it was being said to me.
okay.
So,
All right. Well, whatever the case, Chandler moves on. He's gonna advance on. Danielis, if you're having family emergencies, I apologize for that, man. I'm super sorry to hear that. But if you just have to go to bed, then I understand.
also feel bad for you in both instances, and we hope to see you in the next event.
Absolutely. It'll be an earlier time next event as well. I just unfortunately had to work today, so we had to push it back a couple hours, and it's not fun, but you know, we got to do what we got to do in times like this. But here we go. We got Diaz and Charles going. Charles, teammate of Chandler. Let's see if Charles can move on as well with his teammate. They will battle each other, actually, I believe, if Charles moves on. Oh, no, they wouldn't. But Diaz looked like he kind of struggled to make it to all the zones in that 400Z. And I know that he was doing really well earlier, so maybe he made some last-minute setup changes and just kind of add a little bit more grip and just wasn't anticipating how much grip he added. Or, you know, there's always the thing, too, that could have been, you know, he just got the nerves. Got the jitters.
Could have been a hardware issue. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep, we will see. See if Charles can lay down another sick lead run like he did last time around.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. Diaz giving a little bit of a... Oh, he's just moving his car around. I was wondering if he was going to do like the pull back and kind of get like a leaping head start in, because you can leave a little bit earlier than the lead car can.
Oh, and Diaz not allowing Charles to transition.
That's terrible.
Very, very unfortunate for Diaz. I'm just gonna call it nerves. Like that's the only thing that I can think of, because I know he's a great driver. You know, he's just looks like he's just struggling a little bit right now, and the only thing I can think of is nerves.
We hyped him up too much.
We did. We got him too excited. All right.
You know,
let's see what the judges say.
Problem that is treatable with some doctor love. Getting too excited too quickly.
All right, there we go. Charles gets the win. He moves on moves on with his teammate. Wait for our next battle going.
I think Donato and Hydra, this is going to be a good battle. Hydra, a veteran of this track, and Donato, just a fantastic driver. That would be E92 Nick, the one who's been giving me grief in the chat. Looking super solid into outer zone 3. Nice and smooth like we were wanting. Inner zone looking good, and definitely just put a tire out there. That happens, unfortunately. See, I was doing against the wall to finish off the run. Nice and smooth. You know, minus that little tire drop in outer zone 5. Looking pretty good. Now as they drive back to get switched around, Hydra will get the lead, and let's see what he does out in the front in that nice clean air. Alright, they're off into the races. Hydra goes, dips down into the Maji section, nice and clean. Up against the wall, nice and tight, like we wanted. Right into outer zone 2, nice and smooth. Nice clean run, even through the bumps. Right into outer zone 3, right on the edge. Wow, this is a heater run. Only heaters. That needs to be his new nickname, only heaters. And it looks like Nick gives him a little tap into outer zone 5. given the issue of everything we've seen so far, unfortunately, from the rest of that run. We'll leave it to the judges to make the decision on who gets the next run, but wow.
Yeah, Nick definitely giving him a tap, but it did appear as though Hydra pulled the handbrake ever so slightly right as he was entering that second outside zone. So,
but there is a decel zone there.
There is, but however, it is before the zone, and Hydra did break inside of the zone, so it could very well be Hydra's fault for that contact in his lead. Because he was well past the decel zone. He was inside the zone. Once you hit that zone, you should not be decelling at all anymore. But still, it's up to the judges. We'll see what they say. We do know that there was a multitude of errors in that battle. So, well, not a multitude. There was a small handful of errors in that battle. So,
yeah, just a small little bit. I mean, it happens. No run is going to be perfect. We're not James Dean, the machine.
That's right. We are just some Assetto nerd sim drivers is all we are.
Just some nerds getting down on the sim. Oh, man, speaking of sim stuff.
All right, there we have it. Hydra gets the win.
Good job, Hydra. So while I was at a final bout, I got to talk with Damien from Team Car Shop Kuroshi, which their liveries this year are on fire. But he is big time Assetto nerd and helped create most of the original Tando Buddies pack.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like the modeling and the liveries and all that stuff. And
That's
then
awesome.
I guess he makes a bunch of tracks, and I guess they're like super fun and pretty wild and crazy. So I'm hoping that maybe I can get some and I can share them with a select few people and enjoy them together and continue on his passion project, I guess I'm gonna put it.
That would be awesome. I'm down to give him a rip for sure. All right, well, we have Poopa and Master against each other. Sorry we didn't commentate that whole run, but you know, we were listening to some exciting stuff, so. But nothing really major to report about the run. It wasn't too crazy, wasn't too bad, so.
No, loved having you, E92 Nick. Can't wait to see you next time.
Absolutely, brother. Always welcome in the events, man. Love seeing you guys.
Let all the rest of the SOH boys to come compete.
Yeah, tell them to come. Tell them to quit being
girls.
So lame. Get on their sims that they bought to use instead of not use them. But here we go. Master in the lead. Poopa in the chase. Poopa, big mistake there.
Trade.
Not quite sure what happened there. Maybe he just didn't get the rotation he wanted, or maybe he slowed too much and started to lose his angle. But Master on a pretty heater lead run here so far in that Supra. Very smooth so far. Not quite out to that zone as deep as he needs to be. And that's exactly the result of that. That is what I was about to say, gonna set you up very poorly for that outside touch and go. And Poopa just surging up very hard, but Master was also kind of locked. A little bit too much angle there.
Definitely gonna leave it up to the judges' hands on this one. And you know, with all that being said, you know, we were talking about it earlier how you want to lay down a run that you don't leave in the judges' hands. That way, it's a very cut and dry win, hopefully. And you know, but this is a judge sport, and we knew this going into it. Right.
Yep. You know, and it is subjective. You know, judging is subjective. It's not completely objective. You know, it is opinion based, you know, so there's always that to take into account as well. So, but we do pretty good, I think.
Sorry, chat's talking about Diaz was talking about once again, you know, thanks for having it, you know, having the event, and he apologizes for his terrible showing and back to the drawing board. And I think me and Shift both agree that it's most likely nerves, but you know, we're not you and we don't know. And you know, we can't wait to have you at the next event as well. You know, everyone that's came out and competed has been doing fantastic. It's not like, you know, one person or another was doing terrible, and we don't want them to come back, because that's how you progress, is keep coming, keep trying, and keep practicing. That's the only way to get better, is repetition.
Exactly. And don't get discouraged, anything like that. Don't get upset. You got the sim to have fun. So, you want to have fun, you want to enjoy it, Don't be too hard on yourself. Just enjoy the time. You don't win. It is what it is, man. There's always gonna be more comps.
Did you end up seeing the Car Shop Kuroshi liveries that I was posting pictures of?
I did. I've seen a handful of them.
My God, they are so fucking cool. The hoods on every car has a Where's Waldo.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then they all have a picture of a Team Hayes driver on there as well. And like, dude, it's just so wild. Like, the creativity that went into all of those guys' cars is just unreal.
It sounds like it. And we have a OMT for that last battle. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm
excited for it.
I mean, I'm excited for it as well, but I'm also a little confused, only because I thought Poopa zeroed in his chase.
That's very true. That is very true. He did have that huge straighten in his chase.
And yeah, and I didn't see Master zero at least. That's why I'm just confused.
So the winner of final bout was Front Street. Hayes got second, and they were on fire, by the way. Third place was a Miata crew. They were Knight something. I can't remember the last bit of it. No, it wasn't them. Oh my God. Third place was some FRSs. Street Dreams or something like that. There's like 3 of them, and they were super on point. Very smooth together. It was good stuff. Front Street was on fire. It was crazy. Like, I posted some clips, and I think I just posted one of them in the IRL stuff and our Outside the Sim. And to see how close those guys were together is unreal. It really puts, like, the aspect that, like, if you liked that 90s to 2000s era, like, drifting, this is it. It, like, team drifting, team tandem drifting is so much more, like, chill, fun, go out and just blow laps away. Is wild. But back to what we're doing, back to this event, back to these comps, back to these drivers. I'm sorry.
No, Nick, you're good, man. We got Master in the lead, Poopa in the chase again this time around. And last run, I remember seeing it the first time around, and it kind of refreshed my memory a little bit. Master did make contact with Poopa in his chase run the first time around, so I think that was what it was, because Master made the same mistake here in this battle, but yet again putting down a pretty good lead run. Didn't quite fill out the zones like he needed to, and Poopa keeping a pretty moderate proximity the whole time, I would say. Not quite there, not quite not. So not too bad though. We'll see what the judges say whenever they get back with a call.
Yeah, that was the one thing strange that I noticed. Another comment about final bout stuff is that the teams that drove a lot together, like a lot, definitely showed more improvement. So, like, I'm a big Car Shop Kuroshi fan. I really like their style and the way that they drive. So that's, like, my favorite team. But, like, you could see, because they haven't driven in 2 years together, that they struggled with that chemistry. And when you see what Hayes was running and how Front Street was running, it made such a difference on how often you drive together. And, you know, that's the same kind of relation as in the sim. You know, time and shift drive together almost daily. And to see those two, when they get in the wheel together, they're on each other's doors no matter what, every time. And that's what makes a good team. So
that's because we're bullies, though.
This is true.
We want to beat each other up. That's why.
But, I mean, bully or not, though, but that's the whole thing. Like, you want to beat each other up, so you find a third person that fits within that category of just sucking in on those doors, and you're going to have the same outcome as, you know, Front Street would if we end up doing a team tandem style driving. Very
true. Yeah, I'm for sure interested in it. I think it's a great idea. I mean, we have a handful of, the hot boy street cars built, so I'm down for it.
I definitely feel like if we do like that style pack, kind of like I was talking about in the beginning of the stream, and kind of focus it more on like team tandem style driving, it's going to be a bunch of fun. I also even have a creative new team name. I don't know if I want to say it out loud though.
Oh, okay. What happened? What's up with your team name, Revolution?
Oh no, I still love it. I'm still gonna run it, but it's a team that I think would be fun to have. It's a fantasy like mix of different names.
Nice.
Oh no, we're definitely talking about like team drifting, like for sure, for sure. Like I'm not gonna stop bugging these guys about it because I love doing comps, but I mean comp team drifting would be fucking fire.
It would be. I'm down for it, honestly. I mean, it'd be during the week, like a King of the Hill type thing, because my only
Yeah.
free day is
Yeah.
comps. Or I mean, it could be one of them things that we host in between competitions,
I think in between comps or like doing it like we would do for another one more time. Can't do
Yeah.
another one, so this is definitely gonna be a all on the line battle. Like everything you've got.
It is. This is go big or go home right here. So, this is for all the poker chips. Well, not all of them, for this battle, for this battle.
For this battle, it's all the
of,
poker
of
chips
this
for sure.
for this round.
Well, here, I'll throw it out there. So someone had mentioned it in a podcast, and it just stuck with me because I thought it was so good. It's called Blunt Street.
Blunt Street.
So like Haze is all about like smoking weed, 420.
Yeah.
And Front Street, and you combine those two together, and you got Blunt Street. And I thought that was such a cool name. Creative.
It's not bad. Master again for the third time, giving Poopa a bump on that entry. That is going to end up being the death of him. That's very unfortunate to see. Making the same mistake over and over again. And I'm not quite sure if it's Poopa or if and then Master just.
Whoa, that looked like that was Poopa right there.
I'm not quite sure. It happened so fast that I really don't know. We're gonna go ahead and save that replay though. That way we can watch it back and see for ourselves. Because I'm sure the judges are gonna break it down for a minute to see exactly what happened. So we'll go ahead and get our own perspective as well.
Yeah, but overall, like going out to final bout SSE this year was just everything I needed it to be and then some. So it really just kind of lit a fire under my butt to really push the Aceto community that we have into more street style team tandem battles. I think it'll be a lot of fun and good camaraderie between everyone.
I'm all for it, man. But I'm glad you had fun. That's awesome. Here we go. We got Master in the lead again for the third time. Poopa in the chase. We'll see what they can pull together for this run. Masterclass, the tires were fully straight there. I'm sure that's going to be a 0 on his end. That was four-wheel drift on his part. Front end looking like it just almost completely washed out on him. He was able to save it the last minute. So judges definitely have a lot of work to do. I feel bad for them. I'm sorry, guys. But hey, it is what it is as part of the job.
Yeah, I think that, when you start to dissect these runs, the third time around, you really were just trying to clean up your existing runs to make them better. And, the same mistakes ended up kind of coming out on each side. And hopefully, they were not as severe as they were before.
Yeah. I don't think they were. But we'll still see what the judges have to say. Like I said, I know they still got a lot of work ahead of them on this, so but we will wait to see what they say. Our next battle, since I know we can't have any more one more times, our next battle is going to be THC Crew against Dustin.
Ooh.
Should be a fairly decent battle. There we have it. Poopa gets the win, moves on. Very unfortunate for Master. He definitely fought hard, though, and we love to see it. All right, here we go. We got our next battle already at the line. THC Crew against Dustin. THC Crew in that Mustang. Dustin in the FC.
Both of these cars are returning cars from the pack previous, their V2.
Agreed. Yeah, both of them returning. Really happy to see Dustin in the FC again. Oh, big mistake there from him, though. But still super happy to see him back in the FC. He was trying a handful of different cars. And, you know, I told him, I was like, man, just go get back in the FC. You look really good in it. And he did. And I'm not quite... Oh, THC Crew going off track. Oh, this just took a massive turn of events. So now both drivers, it's going to come down purely to this second run.
So I'm not gonna lie, when you watch the beginning, when we get the replays again, you're gonna see that THC Crew definitely went well past 90 on the wall in the first outer zone, and that could be the reason why there was the issue that we saw with Dustin.
Agreed. We just watched Justin murder me, actually, in the pits. My wheel just completely spazzed out. That was funny. It scared me. I almost pooped myself.
That entry was crazy. I would say, like, if it was just a single run, that would be a fire run. But I think the issue is that for a competition setup, you know, that was a very difficult run, it looked like, to chase. And that could be the reason, if it goes that way, you know, for any faults.
I think I can agree with that. Dustin laying down an absolute heater of a run.
Oh my God.
This time around, THC Crew getting that proximity back right across the line. Give him a little tap saying, hey, I'm right here. You didn't run away from me. Wow. I still got your door.
What a killer end to that battle. Well, let's see what the judges end up saying, but we can watch in this replay here. Look at the angle that THC Crew has. Like, he is super wide and super heavy angled. Definitely a killer look, but definitely not for what you're looking for in a comp setting, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that's what we were just talking about. That team tandem stuff is what that's about.
It sure is. Looks like he needs to be in the team tandem line with me as well.
All right, here we go, waiting for the judges to get back with a call for us. And there we have it. Dustin moves on. He advances to the grade 8. Great job.
Hope to see you in another event soon. THC, you're definitely driving really well too, so. All right, next run, we got DTD and Silo. Let's see how they do. DTD in the second S13 of the event.
Jacob with
a big mess up.
But Jacob, I dare say, was past 90 on his Manji, and then he was for sure past 90 on his entry up to the wall. So that could for sure be the choke up for Silo. Not positive, but you know, that was what we just seen last run. So you know, kind of interesting to see it happen again this run, this battle.
Hydra's over here talking about how we don't like backies. We do like backies.
We love backies. Yeah, they're inconsistent to chase in battle, so therefore you can't do it in battle.
Everyone loves a good backie, and if you don't, I don't want to be your friend.
Facts. Man, Discord is blowing up. I'm so sorry, everybody, for all the Discord notifications.
Let's see what Silo does with clean air in front of him.
We'll see. I'm expecting a pretty decent lead here from Silo. Oh, and going a little wide there. Able to hold it together, though. Jacob falling back a little bit on that wide line. Getting that ground back, though. Doing his best to, at least. Taking a lot of angle out of the car to catch back up, and huge surge almost into the door. Silo, great save there from Jacob. Probably just saved himself a spot. Moving on to the next round, and Silo over rotating right before the line, going up onto that bank. Very easy thing to do. Yeah, but Jacob just throwing massive angle on his Manji.
Yeah. That could be, some of the issue that Silo had, but seeing what Silo did with clean air in front of him, it may not be the factor that, could have been the issue.
Yeah, so
And I
it's
did see,
looking like we might see another OMT.
maybe. It's definitely possible. Hydra's upset because he thinks I didn't see his team name. It said it would be right upper bottom, which I don't quite understand, but that's fine. Maybe Shift can fill me in if he knows what it is.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Right upper bottom. That's what Hydra wants his team name to be.
Right upper bottom?
Yep.
It's going over my head. I don't know.
Oh, THC, you're good, dude. You sent it hard. Up, DTT gets the win. Good job, Jacob.
Jacob
Silo,
will
I hope
move
to see you.
on.
Hope to see you again, Silo. THC Crew, I mean, you throwing it hard, dude. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. All right, we got Zenatada and Shitbox. Let's see what Shitbox does against Zenatada. Shitbox out in the front. Lays down a little bit of a Manji. Looks like he had a little bit of issue trying to initiate. As Zenatada might have been a little bit on his rear bumper. But Static is definitely laying down a pretty solid lead run. Got some good angle. Speed is getting in there. Nice on the inner clip. Going into the outer zone. Definitely got into the dirt a little bit there.
Yeah, a little tire drop there from Static. It looked like he might have over angled a little bit on the beginning part of the track.
Well, so I think at the very beginning, he went to initiate and Zenatada was up too close, and it looks like he couldn't get the initiation, and as Zenatada moved, the momentum was already trying to push even more again because he tried to throw it again, it looks like. But we'll see in the replay when we get back to it.
Yeah, we'll see it back again.
Oh, right up her bottom. He. That's what Hydra said.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say it's got to be.
That's a good one. It's a good one.
It's definitely a good one.
All right. Zenatada in the lead. Static Shitbox in the chase, and Static going to the wall. You hate to see it, and that is probably, unless Lewis did something in his chase run to make him have a 0, that is probably going to do it for Static. But look at this. Static driving the wheels off of that R31 right back on the door, Lewis, right before the line. Incredible, impressive stuff in that big old boxy wagon.
I really
Awesome
like the
stuff.
R31 being in the pack. I think it's such a creative way to be there.
It is, and it drives really good.
Yeah, I think I've driven it like a handful of times, and the handful of times I've driven it, I definitely do like it, and it hurts me that I like it more than I like the R34, especially now that I drive one in real life.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the R31 in the pack. That is facts.
Man, judges are going to have a tough one on this one, seeing where the fault lies.
Yeah, I didn't watch the first run to see exactly what happened on the.
You can see it right there. As he went to initiate, it looks like Zenatada was in the way. But, I don't know. Congratulations to both of them. Absolutely.
Just impressive stuff from Static to able to tuck back up in the pocket like that. Granted, he did fall right back off, but still, nonetheless, that was crazy to see.
It really was. I mean, he had a huge gap to fill, and he just got right up in there. And it's not like, he straightened to make it happen. He was drifting the whole time.
He was. And Zenatada is going to get the win. He's going to move on to the Great 8. We're going to have our next battle already at the line, ready to go. We got Legacy against Chandler Crawford.
1M versus S13. Kinetic Legacy has been on fire all event, so it's definitely gonna be exciting to see what these two can do, battling each other.
It is. It is. I'm pumped to see this battle for sure. Chandler, he's going to be super hungry, especially getting, his last advancement from a technicality. So he's going to be throwing it down. So we'll see what this battle has to hold. But Legacy so far throwing down just the same run he's been all day. A little bit less angle at that inside clip than normal, but past that, he's throwing down basically the same lead he has been all event. Super smooth, super technical.
He had a little bit of some tire drop, but it definitely wasn't that bad. And the only reason why we can see it is due to the smoke change on the one tire.
Right.
But hey,
yep, definitely had definitely a little bit of a tire drop, but yeah, absolutely a solid run. Chandler stuck right there with him for most of it as well. All right, got them flipped around. Chandler in the lead this time. Legacy in the chase. Chandler, like we always see him, nice and smooth. Not all the angle in the world, but super smooth. And that's what we want to see. That's what makes a great lead. Super chaseable lead is when it's smooth. Oh, and then I'm not.
Was Legacy on there too much and got a little bit in the way for Chandler to transition? That's what it looked like.
It did look like that, but at the same time, it didn't appear as though Legacy was close enough for that to happen. Let's go ahead and watch this replay so that way we can get a definitive answer. But it didn't appear as though Legacy was. It looked like it could have been latency.
Could have been.
So we'll see. And if that's the case, that's a very crappy way to go out. But latency
just like
is
in
the thing.
Two difference of these two runs, you can definitely. Ooh.
I don't know. It did look like Legacy might have been there. Might have been in the way.
It's crazy to see the difference between lead versus lead on the amount of angle that each driver has. And that's a style thing. That's the way Chandler has driven the entire time we've seen him compete. Is a shallow angle, aggressive driving.
Yep, just technical. That's all that it is. He doesn't do anything excessive. He does what he needs to do. But we're waiting to see what the judges say. It definitely did appear as though Legacy did have the nose of his car there to prevent Chandler from transitioning. So I do believe that will be on fault to him. I wish I had my drone camera hooked up so that way I could give you guys some drone camera flyby stuff of the cars. Try to get a better angle.
We're going to rerun the last run. So Chandler's lead in Kinetic's chase. It was a lag situation, and I guess both everyone in the lobby felt it. So
oh, okay.
Due to that situation, that was called by the judges. So
well, that makes sense. I'm not going to be upset about it.
No. So let's see this rerun with Chandler in the lead and Legacy in the chase and see what happens.
All right, here we go for the rerun. Oh, Legacy throwing it in hot boy style. Almost making contact with Chandler, but avoided it. Great job on his part. Let's see if he can tuck up on the door at Chandler. Chandler taking a little bit of angle out of that car. Kind of pulling away from Legacy just a touch, but not too much. Legacy needs to get that proximity back. He does. Heavy on the brakes to avoid contact. Big flick from both drivers on this last transition. Chandler, oh, kind of a little stumble there on Chandler's part.
Wow. Yeah, it kind of sucks. You kind of wish he was able to keep the last run, you know?
Right. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get the first run and the second rerun thrown up here for you guys to watch. So the first run, or the left run is the actual first battle, and then the rerun.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a tough battle to judge for sure, because you can definitely see the talent in these drivers here. You know, with the amount that, if you're watching chase for chase and lead for lead, you can see, especially chase wise, the way that each driver can be on the door but still maintain proximity, and they maintain it through the entire lap. It's not like it gets pulled away and then comes back and they have a rope pulling situation here. They're on their door the whole time, and this is what we're looking for. This is super exciting action coming out of these drivers today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All
This is
right.
definitely going to be some fun stuff to see who wins this one.
It's I mean, I have a vote in my head of who I think has the best chance, but we'll see. But Legacy gets the win. Legacy's going to move on, and if I had to guess, it would be from that bog that Chandler had.
You had at the very last outer zone. I agree.
So super unfortunate for him, but that's drifting. It happens.
Sure does. Well, let's see what his teammate can do. It's going to be Charles versus Hydra. Charles is going to be in the other Red Bull painted 1M, and Hydra in the E36.
Your big flick up on Charles's door. Great job avoiding contact. Hydra tucking right up on the door. Charles laying down a pretty smooth lead line here so far. Could have been tighter on the inside clip, but not bad.
Wow. This is some good runs right here from both drivers. And Hydra with a little bit of a touch, but Charles did a great job of hiding it. Strange Crew, that's how you say that. I've been looking at it the whole time, looking like an idiot. Love it. Is that your team name, Strange? Talking about the chat at the moment. Ah, it is sick. I can't wait. Hopefully you get in the team tandems with us. Well, Hydra out in the lead. Let's see how he does. Carl's going to be throwing down some chase. He's definitely been doing great chases all run, all night. Hydra's doing a really good job.
Charles just looking like he choked himself up both times there on his mistakes. Let's see if he can pull it back together to finalize his run. Hydra really smooth in his lead so far. Very smooth lead there from Hydra. Charles doing his best. Stick there with him.
It's definitely going to be one the judges are definitely going to be counting all the beans on. Definitely not one I want to be doing.
No, I am never envious of the judges, ever.
It's a tough job, it really is.
For any battle.
Dude, you definitely got to cop that your neighbor's G920 and get out here and just start driving. It's going to make a difference. You know, the G920 is a difficult wheel to start off drifting in, but people do it, and it has been done. So you can definitely get some time and some practice, and if you end up in our Aceto community on ADL within Discord, we can definitely help you out with settings and helping you get more confident with behind that wheel and that sim.
Absolutely, we can help you out with anything you need to, man.
Exactly. It's nice that you've been accumulating assets and cars already in the meantime. That definitely is going to make a huge difference once you start to go drive.
Absolutely. As we look back on these two runs here, looking like Hydra might have the advantage, I think, in my personal opinion.
He definitely has the cleaner chases the way it's been looking through these replays, that's for sure.
He 100% made a mistake, though, in his chase on that last transition, and I'm wondering if the judges are going to knock him heavy for it or give him a 0 for it or what it's going to be. It wasn't really the best camera angle to see it from our perspective, but I'm interested to see the call nonetheless.
How you doing, Joseph?
What's up, Joseph? Cannot believe I just said that on stream.
Oh, Hydra gets the win.
Hydra gets the W. Great job, buddy. Better luck in the next event, Charles.
Yeah, it definitely translates to IRL. We have a few drivers that we know that are on the sim, and they go straight from the sim into their real car and vice versa, and it makes a big difference. And then I love all my sim magic gear. This is what I run, is all sim magic, and there's definitely comparative brands, but I really like what they have to offer, and I have spent the quite the fortune on all of my stuff.
Put it this way. Sim Magic is the Michael Jordan of sim drifting.
It definitely does seem that way.
I mean,
I guess
you got SimuCube too, but that's mega expensive.
SimuCube's got big dollars, and all the people that are running all these big dollar rigs, that you see through the internet and stuff like that. They definitely get sponsorship to kind of assist in paying for it all.
Oh, 100%.
It'll be interesting to see how someone else does it.
All right, we got our next battle here. We got Poopa against Dustin. If these people don't start changing their names, I'm gonna make them start using their real names.
Uh-oh.
You know how awkward it is to say Poopa and Big Poppy and stuff like that? I gotta call you guys this stuff.
I know you have to call me Major Cupcake all the time.
I love it. All right, Poopa in the lead, Dustin in the chase. Poopa not quite making it out to that first outside touch. Something we've seen from him all event long. Dustin lost a lot of ground right there on that transition. Not quite sure what happened. Maybe he just almost gripped up, was able to get it back in drift.
Could have been Poopa giving him a little bit of some choke action, unfortunately.
Dustin surging hard. Ooh.
Whoa, big surge.
That was a, man, looked like maybe it could have been a combination of, I don't know. That was an awkward surge. It was an unnatural surge, we'll say.
Premium assorted clear cutlery.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny. I don't believe Adam LZ is in our...
Did Adam LZ go? Yeah.
I mean,
All right, here we go. Drivers flipped around. Dustin in the lead. Poopa in the chase. Let's see if Dustin can lay down another one of them fat, smooth leads that he's been doing. Didn't quite fill outer zone 1 all the way, but still had that nice smooth arc we were looking for. Poopa goes straight. Dustin very smooth in outside zone 2, filling it almost completely. Didn't touch inside clip nearly at all. Kind of snap angle in there. Let's see if he can hold it together, keep his car in drift, and just having some mega issues here. Not quite sure what's going on. Started the run so good and then just started struggling in the latter half of that battle. Or of that run, I apologize. Get these thrown up. Maybe we can see a better idea of what happened. Dustin's lead. See what happened to Poopa here too. Poopa maybe not quite straight. Definitely a big mistake. 100% a huge mega mistake on his part. And then Dustin definitely over angling right there, just cooking it too hot. And then Dustin might have been straight right there too. He might have, his car definitely whooped the angle like he pulled the handbrake again. So that would have been a reinitiation, and which would in fact be a 0. So man, sorry judges, but
have fun.
Yeah, looks like it might be based purely off of the first call, especially if Poopa was 0. So it'll be purely based off of what happened in the first run. If both drivers 0'd the second one.
So, I guess Midwest Shredfest is a natural driver and knows Hydra, and I guess Hydra thinks that he's Adam LZ at this point, so...
Oh, is that what it is? What's up, Cam?
it's definitely a fun situation so far. So we'll see where this all goes with Hydra. But more importantly, who's gonna take the win, Dustin or Poopa?
I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see it go OMT just because I feel like the judges don't really have enough. Bam. God, I'm good.
Wow, you are good. No, they definitely did. I also felt that there was not enough to judge from to make an accurate judge. Accurate call.
All right. Man, I'll tell you what, I bet Poopa is just about pooped out of having all these OMTs.
Yeah, he's really just hoping that, hey, make a call for me for once. I want to sit down for a little bit.
Yeah, bro's put in 5 battles worth of runs in one event. Oh, man. See, I'm not sure what's happening here. It seems like I don't want to say it.
I'm not gonna say it either. I have a feeling that when there's a chase going on, it looks like something might be going on that's not.
I mean, okay, so this is all I'm gonna say. Look at how unnaturally Dustin was having a left foot brake, for instance, in his chase just now.
Yes. It looks like he's not going fast enough, Poopa.
Yes, I agree. And I'm not saying it's Poopa's fault. I'm not saying he's doing it intentionally by any means, but I thought it a couple runs ago for him when he was against Master, and I was like, man, like, but I didn't know if maybe I was just tripping or something, but I don't know.
I thought it too, but again, like, I'm not in the judge's seat anymore, so I can't make those calls.
It could just be one of them things where, like the pedals are slightly activated and the brake is slightly registering and he just doesn't know it. You know what I mean? Like, it happens to me all the time. It happens to me all the time. Dustin's sending it hot, nice and wide, on power, very early, getting all the speed coming out of that zone, and just, granted, it cost him a lot of points, but man, it was cool to see. Barely any angle inside clip. Let's see if he can slow the car down before that zone. He does. Wow, he is just on a heater.
On a heater
He is on rails. He was on a mission to set the fastest pass at this track, and I think he just did.
Not even about the mission, about the fastest pass. He went out and said, "You're gonna give me it one more time? Fine. I'm gonna make sure that you have the hottest heater to judge." That's what we just saw. He went out, hit all the zones, and laid down a super fast run in the meantime, and gave Poopa a hard time to chase.
He did. He was only trying to achieve one thing on that run, and it was speed. He transformed the Lightning McQueen on that run. He said, "I am speed." All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into today's event. It means a lot to us. I hope you guys are enjoying it. It definitely means a lot to us for everybody watching and commenting and just taking part in the whole process and the everything. It's awesome. We love it. We appreciate it a bunch. So thank you guys, everybody. Thank you guys, everybody.
I'm pretty sure Shredfest is definitely he's thanking you for how good you did on the track, by the way, Shift.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he said the track looks great, by the way.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Nothing but love. Big love. All right.
We got a decision?
No, I was just gonna say I was gonna shout out the sponsors and stuff like that, but go ahead and say what you were gonna say.
No, do it. Shoot them out. Shout them out.
Well, they're scrolling in the left-hand corner of the screen. They've been there the whole time. So go ahead. I'm honestly super tired too. I've been up since 2:30 in the morning because I had to go to work this morning, and I work very early morning shift, and I'm exhausted.
I've been up since 7, so I feel you to an extent. Obviously, you've been up way earlier than me. No, I was gonna say that, like, even when you did the recreation for Chicago, when you did Soldier Field, that turned out so good. And that track's not even in Assetto Corsa, and it only happened twice in Formula Drift. So to go through and recreate that from, you know, a handful, like one YouTube video from 20 years ago is super awesome.
Dude, it was so challenging. I'm not gonna lie.
But it turned out phenomenal.
It's difficult, but I do enjoy it. That is a very fun track. OMT, yeah, Poopa is definitely he's exhausted from all these OMTs. I just know it.
Has to be.
Has to be. You know, but hey, we're not doing too bad. Stream's only been going on for 2 hours and 40 minutes. So, you know, we're not doing too bad on time, even with all these OMTs. So let's send it.
We're doing real good.
Let's send it. I'm all for it.
Oh, Midwest just said that it's been 10 plus years and they've never had a legit track made for Aceto, and we blew it out of the park is what he was saying.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. That makes me very happy to hear. I do work hard on these tracks, you know. It means a lot to me to know that people enjoy them. But here we go for this battle. Dustin having some issues in his chase run, having a hard time keeping up with Poopa, because Poopa is just absolutely sending it, and not positive what happened there. It's the same spot of the course every time, and I'm not positive what's going on. It's so hard to see from that camera because it's a face-on camera, so it's not. It's
definitely difficult to tell.
It's not the best camera to view speed like that from.
Jacob, the track is in Iowa.
Cedar Rapids, my boy.
Cedar Rapids, that's where it's at.
Daniel, what's up,
chat, man? You can see that Shredfest mentioned that he's having an IRL 5K May 24th and 25th at Cedar Rapids, Iowa, at this track right here. So,
Chandler, thank you, buddy. Charles, thank you as well, man. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to have you guys at the next round. All right. Yes, make sure to catch Midwest. What was it? Midwest Shredfest. Midwest Shredfest at Hawkeye Downs for the Mayhem and May 5K. Gonna be awesome. How can it not be? The track's wicked. Well, some people. But Dustin, same thing as before, throwing down an absolute blazer of a lead run, getting that FC, all the beans, and just completely sending it. Poopa, though, doing a better job of being able to keep up with him this time around, so.
Yeah, the judges are definitely, they got a real one to judge now. Well, let's look at the replays and see if there's kind of any issue on why we had that big issue from Dustin. Looks like he just got lost in the smoke is what it looks like.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And then with him getting lost and having to make up all that space, he was really just kind of pushing super hard, and then gave him that love tap at the end.
Daniel, why don't you fix your PC?
That's what it sounds like.
Not a problem, Midwest. That's what we do, man. We spread the love everywhere we go. Unless you cut me off in traffic, then you get no love.
You got a little bit of some road rage, it sounds like?
No, it was a joke. All right. Still waiting on a call to come back from the judges.
So what's our next event going to be, Shift?
Our next event is back at Pine Valley in the Street Pack.
Ooh, are we going to do the 2.0 as well? The new version?
Correct. Yes, sir. It will be the new pack.
Do we know what layout?
I don't know the layout just yet. To be quite honest with you.
We should do my layout.
Oh yeah?
Just for funsies. It's not like I'm gonna be any good at it. Come on now.
We'll see. We'll see. But here we go. We got our next battle. Jacob Delphonse in the S13 against Louis Zenatada in that Porsche. These two guys have been throwing down heaters all event, so I'm excited to see how this battle turns out. Jacob putting down a pretty good run. Very wide coming out of outside zone 1. That was very ideal, what we want to see. But Lewis all over his door. Oh, little bit of a miscommunication there from the two drivers. Jacob angling up ever so slightly when Lewis just looked like he probably wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, Lewis definitely was laying down a really good, solid chase run is what it was looking like. So we'll have to wait for the replay to get a better examination of that run. We'll see what happens again. We're getting close. This is still our grade 8, correct?
This is still our grade 8. This is our final battle in our grade 8 before moving on to the final 4.
Oh man, this is getting
Oh,
heated.
yeah. Oh yeah, next battle is, after this one, is going to be Legacy against Hydra.
Oh man, the wannabe LZ.
Yeah, wannabe LZ, that's right.
All
right.
Lewis out in the front in the Porsche, laying down a solid entry right against the wall.
Looked like he had a lot of angle on entry there.
He definitely had a lot of angle, but it didn't look like he over-angled. Looked like he stuck it right at 90, maybe 91. And, you know, one of our judges was definitely saying that, you know, that's what he was looking for. But don't go past 95. I remember that exact words.
Yeah, that's what he said, yep. But Lewis, absolute stellar lead run, but wow. Jacob swapping paint with him the whole time, all over his bumper. I mean, sniffing them gas fumes the whole lap. Amazing chase there from Jacob.
Yeah, this is impressive work by both these drivers. I'm excited to see what the judges have to come up with for a call on this. And, you know, hey, these guys are going to be in the top 4. This is going to get rowdy.
It is. These guys want it. These guys are hungry. They can taste the victory at this point. So they are giving it everything they got. They're sending it full tilt, full pedal to the metal. Well, except for where they have to brake. And then back to full pedal. But yeah, absolutely sending it. Super excited to see the battles in the top 4. Well, all the battles. I'm excited to see all the battles. They're all good. Any battle at ADL is a good battle.
Agreed. It's definitely exciting to see these replays side by side. This the way you were able to make this work within the stream is super sick. And you know, you can see each run individually but together, and you know, really get to see these mistakes a lot clearer.
I agree. I'm super happy we were able to get the side by side replays working as well. It's definitely an improvement on the stream. We want to do other improvements as well, but I'm very happy with how it's at right now. I can't speak from a viewer perspective, but I hope that it's good for you guys. I hope it's entertaining. That's the only thing that we were really trying to achieve, is that it's entertaining the whole time for everybody. You know, you guys want to watch it. It's engaging. You guys want to participate in chat, and you know, that's what we want. That's all that we care for. All right, Jacob gets the win. He's going to move on, and that is it for our grade 8.
Congratulations,
we are moving
Jacob.
on to our final 4. We got Legacy, Kinetic Legacy against Hydra. And they are off. Legacy in the lead in the S13, Hydra in the chase. Let's see how aggressive Hydra will be. This is his home track, IRL. Super aggressive already, giving Legacy a bump. Not quite unsettling Legacy that much. Oh, and then severe lag there. I say, I think we're going to have to run that back. That's for sure going to be a restart. I don't know what exactly happened, but that was for sure a desync issue, which happens. It is virtual drifting, and you're going to have those moments. So, all right, get them relined back up. Sorry for that, everybody, but they are back off. Legacy in the lead, Hydra in the chase. Round 2. All right, here we go. Both drivers super aggressive on the initiation, as they have been all event. Hydra needs to make up some of that proximity. The S13 is super quick, so he has his work cut out for him, but let's see what he can do as he surges onto his door in the second outside zone. He's doing his best to get there, but he just doesn't trust it. And here we go as they come to the line and finish out their run. What a great battle. Great
That was
first
a really
run.
good battle. Thank you for the saying the street cars look really good. We definitely feel they do too. the vibes with deliveries are super fire. It's they have that race car kind of feel, but at the same kind that like Japanese inspired feel. So it's cool to see the mix of the liveries, but still be very similar, all in together.
Plus, I put like 730 hours into the update for these cars, so that makes me super happy to hear.
Yes.
That warms my heart. Thank you so much.
Well, let's see what Hydra can do with clean air behind in front of him and legacy and behind. Hydra comes in, gets a real good initiation into the Manji section, right up against the wall, nice and smooth, right down into the flat, into the second outer zone. Looking good into the outer zone 3, staying on there. Legacy looking like he's having a little bit of issues maintaining that proximity. Look good in inner zone 1. Solid, a little bit of some bobble going on Hydra's side. And what happened there? Legacy ended up cutting it a little bit early.
I don't know. Let's watch this back and see exactly what happened. It seemed as though Legacy he surged in shallow, and then he was forced to hit the brake super hard, and then that S13, it doesn't like that. So when you do that, it likes to snap rotate, and that's what it looked like happened to Legacy, unfortunately.
Did you do a rear rack on that car like it did normally, or did you do a front rack on it?
No, it's got a rear rack.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to appreciate some hard braking. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Legacy. We'll see what the judges say. I don't think Hydra did anything too bad in his chase to consider, a mistake as big as Legacy had. And that could be... Oh, there we go. Hydra moves on.
Midwest says if he loses at his home track, everyone's going to make fun of him. Yeah.
Well, don't lose, man.
His new nickname's going to be Wannabe LZ.
For sure. All right, here we go. We got Poopa against Jacob. Poopa in the GT86, Jacob in the S13. Poopa nice and wide on that wall, deep into that outside zone 1. Very smooth in that first hairpin section. Jacob right up on the door of Poopa as they enter that outside zone 3. I'm sorry. Very tight on the inside clip. Poopa is. Jacob falling back a little bit, not able to get that proximity back, really struggling to get the ground back. Poopa though, really smooth lead. Very smooth lead from Poopa. Great job.
Yeah, the GT86 is another one of your favorite cars as well. I know that's what you choose for your pro car usually as well. And to see it in the street pack definitely shows a lot of versatility between the chassis itself. And, it shows when you got an S13 that Jacob's been driving has been really on fire. He's been putting down really hard chases, and to see the GT86 kind of pull away really just goes to prove that, not so much that the chassis is better or worse, but that, with the proper setup, the chassis can do a lot of work.
They can, for sure. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing about it too, is finding the chassis that works best for you, because the more comfortable you are in a car, the better you're going to drive it, and ultimately the faster you're going to be. So, the smoother, cleaner line you put down, the faster you're going to be all the time. So that's always important to find, a chassis that calls to you. But Jacob with a killer, absolute clinic lead line here that Poopa is just not able to keep up with at all. Jacob just leaving him behind. Nothing but a puff of smoke and some sound.
Nice lead run, nice and clean. And it's what we were talking about. You want to lay down a 100-point lead every single time. And, I'm not saying that's a 100-point lead, but it's definitely a clean lead that's very chaseable and smooth.
It was. His lead was very smooth. Poopa's lead was also incredibly smooth, but he just wasn't able to maintain that proximity that Jacob was.
Yeah, for the chase part. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, Jacob did make, mistakes in his chase as well, but, he had a little bit better proximity, I would say, than Poopa did. So, but we'll see what the judges say. It's ultimately up to them, so.
Turns out that Midwest is already changing Jacob's gonna get the win.
All
Congratulations.
right. Great job,
Poopa,
Jacob.
You have been running nonstop for like an hour now. So
You have been,
fantastic
man.
work.
Great job, man. I think we're going to have a third place battle go right now. We're going to have Legacy against Poopa.
Nice.
One more battle for the night, Poopa.
Yeah, so Shredfest mentioned that he's already changing the Wannabe LZ's name in their team chat. So I love it. Hydra is no longer Hydra.
I dig it. Look what you started, Hydra. Oh, I don't even think it was Hydra to start. Was it Hydra to start it? It was Midwest Shredfest.
Yeah, I think Midwest said it. Yeah, the Wannabe LZ is crazy. Oh, wait, hang on. No, Hydra said it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Hydra said it himself.
All right, here we go for our third place battle. We got Legacy against Poopa. Legacy nice and wide, almost all the way out to the edge of that track. Oh, putting his bumper on the wall, quite literally, giving it a nice big smooch. And unfortunately, that's going to hinder his lead a lot and knock him some heavy points, if not zero him. But Poopa definitely falling back. Could make up some ground, maybe playing it safe because he knows that, you know, Kinetic did have contact with the wall. So we'll see what he does in his lead run.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, that contact on the wall definitely is going to hinder him at the end of the day. But,
oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, as long as Poopa lays down a solid lead and Kinetic doesn't kill, you know, the chase in any way possible, that's so amazing.
Maybe you know, to you, Hydra, but he's nice to me.
Yeah, he's definitely nice to me as well. And I don't even know the guy.
Yeah. He told me that he could kiss me. Said he loves me.
Wow.
You're just jealous. Don't be jealous. It's not a good look.
Peanut butter jelly going on.
All right, here we go. Poopa in the lead. Very good into that outside zone. Very good into that outside zone. Through that whole first section, Poopa was good into outside zone 3 as well. Legacy all over his door. Poopa really tight on the inside clip. Very smooth transition to the outside zone 4. And good transition outside zone 5. Legacy give him a little bit of bump. Poopa did slow a little bit. Maybe not too much, but definitely a visual slowdown from on Poopa's end.
It sounds like Wannabe LZ wants to make out with you. I'd be careful.
I mean, hey.
Everyone's been wanting to kiss you lately.
Yeah. Grab a ticket, I guess. Call you when your number's up. All right. Sorry for what this event has turned into, everybody. It's getting spicy in here.
ADL after dark, that's what happens.
Yeah, for real. This is what happens when I have night comps, I guess. Everybody gets freaky. He said, yeah, I indeed did.
I will say that
OMT for third place. Love it.
Wow.
Let's go, boys.
Poopa is literally the king of the OMT today.
He is, bro. I'm telling you. I'm going to assume that as well, Strepidemic. That is my guess. Poopa is probably at this point, he's just like, you know what? I don't even care.
I'm going to go to bed, guys. Bye.
Yeah, sorry, bro. All right, here we go for their OMT. Kinetic in the lead again. Nice and wide on that Manji. Very deep on the wall.
Super fast entry, too. Wow.
Oh, yeah, it was. So much angle as well. Very smooth so far. Very good lead here from Legacy. Poopa just now getting that proximity back. Let's see if he can surge up on his door in this fourth outside zone. not quite. Legacy, very snappy transition. They come across the line to finish out their first run. Great lead. Legacy.
That was a solid lead run. Well, let's see what Poopa can do in the chase.
You mean
Or
in the
lead?
lead?
I mean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. We're both
I'm
tired. It's
too.
okay.
Yep. 8 a.m.
Oh my
Holy
gosh, Poopa!
shit.
I'm so sorry, man.
That means he started at like.
Dude, this. I mean,
Like midnight? No, not midnight.
this
Like
comp
2 in the
has-
morning.
Yeah, it has
2 or
gone on
3?
for a while though. We had our
'Cause
drivers
we started
meeting.
at 5.
Yeah, 4 hours ago is when we had our drivers meeting. So the
At
drivers
least 4
meeting went
a.m.
on for a while.
Little too long.
Yeah, longer than I wanted it to, but it's okay. We made it through it. But here we go. Poopa not quite making out the outside zone 1, getting out the outside zone 2 just fine, and then not quite filling outside zone 3 like he should, but super tight on the inside clip. He's been tight on the inside clip all day. Pretty decent in outside zone 4. Good transition to come across the line. Pretty decent lead there from Poopa as well. But
Yeah, this
Pretty
is definitely going to be a tough one to judge. That's for sure. Not a lot of mistakes made.
no, I don't think there was many mistakes made. Poopa did have one major mistake where he completely missed outside zone 1, but
Yeah.
you know, nonetheless, still a pretty good run.
Now, is this layout a layout that they actually run in IRL?
Yes, so this is the exact layout they run in IRL.
Oh, that's sick.
Yep, this is all designed and tested by yours truly, Hydra. All right, Legacy gets the win and 3rd place for today's event, locks in his podium. Great job, bro. Great driving all event long. Super happy to see you come out. You crushed it, bro.
Yeah, Poopa was doing wonderful work all night tonight, and to know that he's been doing it all morning is even more impressive.
Oh yeah.
So-
I mean, dude, that's wild.
Yes.
All right, here we go. We got Hydra against Jacob Dalphonse for first
your final
and
battle.
second
Let's
place.
see what
This is the
happens.
last battle, guys. Come on, Hydra, 90 on the Manji. Let's see how much angle you can get on that outside zone 1. Not quite 90, but still lots and lots of angle. Very smooth through that section. Jacob all over his door, getting that proximity back slowly but surely. Jacob moving his way to that door of Hydra's. Hydra, good transition on that inside clip. Very smooth in that outside zone. Filled it almost completely. Somewhat of a late transition. Yeah, a little bit of a checkup there from Hydra. Kind of choking up Jacob. But also... well, nope. I was gonna say what you said. Never mind. My brain is fried, guys. Sorry.
So it's official. Hydra's new nickname is WLZ.
WLC. Okay.
Yep.
What if I want to
There's no
name him LLZ?
LLZ. What for loser LZ?
Yeah, you know, dub. What? Just kidding. Love you, bro.
No, the dubs for the wannabe.
Oh, I get it now. Okay. All right, here we go. Driver flipped around. Jacob in the lead this time. Big angle from Jacob. All the way out. Nice and wide. Almost ideal line there from Jacob in the
Wow.
lead. Hydra, though, all over that door. A little bit of a wobble there from Jacob, but able to hold it together. Hydra all over that door, though. Not giving him any room to breathe. Hydra, super hard surge onto the door of Jacob. Not letting him go anywhere. And Hydra just showing that this is his local track. And that
He's here to claim
wants it. Yeah, he is here to claim the king of Hawkeye.
Yeah, after seeing this run, you can definitely see that Jacob's been doing a lot of comp driving, and it shows. And you can just see the way that the confidence is not, lacked in any way, shape, or form when it comes to this. So between that and the chase runs, I mean, look at these chase runs when you see these replays. They're damn near identical. This is going to be hard to judge.
It really is.
Wow.
You got to expect the last battle to always be hard to judge. Realistically, you should be expecting from anywhere from top 16 on to be super extremely difficult to judge. But
yeah,
especially the last battle, like that should be the hardest battle to judge in a perfect world.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
But they definitely put it on. They both wanted it for sure. Jacob put it on for DTD. Repping his team nice, very, very, very well tonight. And then Hydra just repping Hawkeye, repping being a local, and then just completely sending it. Wish more locals could have showed up. Cam, who registered, but it's okay.
It's definitely a lot of DTD fans out in the chat today too, which is exciting to see.
It is. I'm glad to see you guys here supporting your boy. Wow, sorry. Supporting your boy. Yeah, I apologize, guys. Like I said, it's been a long day for me. Way longer than a 15-hour day. It's been an 18-hour day so far. Nice. All right, Hydra gets the win. Hydra is today's winner. So Jacob is going to get second. Hydra is going to get the victory, and I do think that they're going to go ahead and do a podium train here. We're going to go ahead and get locked on the Hydra in case it is what they do. But I just want to say thank you so much to everybody that tuned in and watched our event. It means so much to us. It means so much to the community, especially myself, the person that, started all of it. I hate saying it because I feel like I'm bragging, but I promise I'm not. Just super happy to see it become what it has. It's awesome. It's incredible. And I can't thank all the viewers, all the drivers, guys like Cupcake that helped me, guys like Time, all the judges, Swan, everybody that helps me, Taryn. It means a lot, to have some support for something you created and having them want to be here is just super cool. It means so much to me, guys. It really does. But today's event
in the chase.
Today's event was stellar. I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. Sorry, Midwest.
That's a picture right there.
But,
nice.
Super happy with how the event turned out. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope that those of you that watched it enjoyed watching it. If there's anything that we can do to improve it, make sure to shoot me a DM on Discord or on Instagram. _shift happens AC on Instagram. And then in Discord, I'm super easy to find. So, but without further ado, do you have anything you'd like to add to the end of the stream, Cupcake?
I'm just super excited that we were able to throw this together and have all these people come out and show out and provide a fantastic competition overall. So I'm excited for the next comp. It's going to be in 2 weeks, correct?
I will have to check the schedule. It's going to be in either 2 or 3 weeks, but be sure to check the Instagram. That's where we'll be posting all the notifications for it. We're going to start posting a lot more on the Instagram, so that way you guys can kind of stay in tune with what's going on with ADL, and just make it more known than just what's inside the Discord. People even on just social media on Instagram will be able to know, and Facebook and stuff. So
let us know what you guys think about the Team Tandem stuff. We're definitely interested.
Absolutely. Let us know anything you guys have, any feedback you guys have. Get at us on Discord, get at us on Instagram, wherever you want, and give us your suggestions. Let us know what you guys want. Let us know what you guys want to see, and we'll find a way to make it happen, hopefully. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's event. Be sure you tune into the next one. Like I said, it's going to be at Pine Valley. We're going to be back in the street cars again, and after that, we're going to be in the pro cars at Ozarks International Raceway. So
that's going to be
become
fun.
a part of it. Join today, become a part of it, become part of the family, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.
Later.